counting on me, then I hate to keep them waiting. Let's go. Our backs to the wall, but they counting on me. They waiting for the fall, but the parachutes go.
Our final day of Mecum's Indy Fall Special is gonna be big. Day 2 here at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. 5 hours of coverage starting now live on ESPN+. Welcome in, everyone. It's so great to have you with us on this Super Saturday. I'm Danielle Trotta, and the weather is sunny and perfect here in Indianapolis. A great autumn day for a cruise in a pickup with the windows down, or maybe a stroll in a muscle car. We've got plenty of those for you. All low mileage, good stuff, some at no reserve. So let's head to the block now and join Scott Hoke and Bill Stevens.
Very good, Danielle Trotta. Thank you very much, and welcome into the State Fairgrounds Coliseum in Indianapolis. A good crowd here on a Saturday morning just after 11 o'clock Eastern. And we will lead things off, Brother Bill, with a 1997 Bentley.
I thought we'd begin the day here with a car that's stickered for $150,000 back in 1997 and just see what kind of bidding it will get today.
Yeah.
Right now, we're below $10,000 for this automobile. It has lost none of its luxury, none of its luster. That is a black emerald paint job, and what's interesting is that there's actually green metal flake, very fine green metal flake in that black. That was an exclusive color for Bentley back in 1997. Twin turbo, 675 liter V8, 300 horsepower, leather inside in a sandstone beige color that's, oh, just so sumptuous. And every single option you could possibly think of in this Bentley Brooklyn Czar.
All you got to do is tell them you've got a Bentley.
Hey, magic word, still is.
And it hammers for $10,500.
That's unbelievable.
That is our first car of the day, first of many. And right behind it is this 2005 Pontiac GTO, kind of foreshadowing what we might see from you, Bill, here in a few minutes or so. But this one from 05.
Yep, that 3-year run, 2004, 5, and 6. The GTO came back to mixed reviews, let's be honest. Based on the Holden Monero, people were expecting a car that was a little bit more American in its appearance and its provenance, but this was a really good car. My son owned one in 2005 like this one. 400 horsepower, 6-liter V8. This one with an automatic. 6 speeds were also available as well. This one, the odometer only reads about 2,900 miles. So there's still a lot of life left in this goat. 4-wheel disc brakes with ABS. Has the alloy wheels that are black in color to contrast with that silver metallic exterior.
This GTO reaches a high bid of $27 grand here in Indy at our fall special 2025. And right behind that GTO, Bronco 2, the smaller version, the 85 Ford Bronco 2.
Yeah, this is the Bronco a lot of people forget about. We think of the Bronco, we think of the full-size trucks, but this is the little one. The 1985 2.8-liter V6, about 115 horsepower, same engine that they put in the Ford Ranger pickup. Like, remember, automatic transmission. And this one looks like it has been well preserved. Looks like it's in pretty good condition with some extras as well. AC, power windows and locks, and power brakes. Originally a California truck. And this will probably sell somewhere in the neighborhood we're in right now. These are not big ticket items.
Close bid at $12,000.
Not yet.
Well, not yet is right. The bid goes on at $12,000. More to come from here in the booth in a few minutes. First, let's check back in with Danielle Trotta once again.
I saw how you kicked off the show, Scott Hoke. I will raise you that Bentley, though, for a 2018 Rolls-Royce Dawn convertible. It's here in the Fall Creek Pavilion. Chris Jacobs and I previewed it yesterday. Really rare color combination. You've got to see to believe. CJ, we fell in love with that beauty yesterday.
Oh, yeah, Danielle. That was one of the obviously powerful cars. We've also got some sleepers here, like this 1969 Caprice. And what do I say, sleeper? Oh, yeah, 427 under the hood. And that is a factory numbers matching 427, making 335 horsepower. You do not want to pull up next to this bad boy at the stoplight. Done up in red over black interior, and look at how nicely preserved this interior is. What a great looking car. Absolutely love this. Rare to have a 427 in a full-size car like this. And Danielle, this will be going home with a new owner today because it's going at no reserve.
Oh, I love that, CJ. You found a sleeper on this Super Saturday. Rutledge Wood is also roaming around somewhere. The fairgrounds, a massive complex. We've got thousands of cars here. Rut, what'd you find?
You know, Danielle, normally when we're talking about the GOAT, we're talking about Chris Jacobs, but check out this GOAT right here, the 65 Pontiac GTO. That is a built LS6 under the hood, shaved firewall. This thing a total restoration, this beautiful dark cherry paint on it. It's had suspension work, Big Bear brakes on there. It's mated to a Tremec 6-speed. Take a look inside the interior, new power convertible top. Everything about this car just screams awesome. And when you see it in this beautiful colorway, of course, those iconic rear taillights, the sail panel, someone is going to have a big smile on their face when this crosses the block. Coming up a little bit later today.
I'm not arguing CJ's a GOAT, but around here we like horses. A lot of horsepower, and Bill and Scott, we've got so much of it on the way. Just getting started here. What a fun Saturday in Indy.
Oh, it is going to be that, Danielle. Thank you all very much. And back into the Coliseum we come, and on the block at the moment is a 2008 Mercedes-Benz SL550 convertible that has just topped out at $25,000. So it'll still be available. The guys there in the upper left-hand corner, the bid goes on desk, they will go to work on that, try to put a deal together.
Yeah, I love that car too, man. That looks fabulous, and it's got that 5.5-liter V8 with 382 horsepower. That will scoot.
Well, a few years before that, in 2002, here is that year's edition of the SL500.
How do you like your SL500s? This one has got that ever-present 5-liter V8 in it, an engine that found its way into so many of the Mercedes during that time period, 302 horsepower, but it's got all of the options and the extras. It's got the automatic, of course, 5-speed auto transmission, two-tone black and silver Napa leather interior. There you go. And the 18-inch two-piece BBS wheels, and a lot of exterior eyeball to that Benz.
Just $13,000, and that will be the high bid for the moment. Rolling into place, another silver car, this one from Porsche. Same time period, too, a 911 Carrera.
It's German o'clock. Here we go.
It is.
Yep, 3.6-liter, flat 6, 315 horsepower. Automatic. That top comes down. Power seats, leather interior. Odometer, just over 70,000 miles. Bose sound system, cruise control. It's not a stripper. It's got plenty of toys. That's got $17,000.
Oh, yeah.
Carrera Cabriolet. In that kind of condition?
Yes, sir. $17,000. The bid goes on. Got to make sure when you buy those, however, you find a guy that knows what they're doing when they're working on those Porsches in any German car, any foreign car for that matter. But yes, still available at $17,000. We will take our first time out of the day today and resume from Indy in a moment.
Gather round, make them bounce, they can never hold us down. Like I never left you with no ring rust. When they get it jumped on like the king does. So that quick rush running through your veins is the same. How I keep it going, yeah, we maintain.
Oh, have we got a pickup truck for you. This is a complete custom 1970 Chevy C10. 1,000 hours invested in it. It's a new Chevy Performance LS3 V8, automatic transmission behind it, and it is coming up a bit later on in our telecast. today. What a truck that is, Bill Stevens. Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Hoke with Bill here in the booth above the red carpet as we welcome you to our portion of the telecast here in the booth. You know, it's interesting if you do the numbers on Thursday, over 80% of the vehicles sold here at this fall special. 78% sold yesterday. So the buyers are here, and they are recognizing, Bill, some good deals and some good cars to be found.
Well, the inventory definitely is lending itself to people becoming engaged. In fact, in past Mecum auctions on Saturday, we see the high-rent district cars, most of the cars premium priced. But today are going to be very similar. Bargain hunter's delight. Good cars, yep, but affordable cars, even more so.
I kind of gave you a hint a little while ago about a GTO that Bill was going to talk about. This one is interesting because I think it shows a lot of restraint on the owner's part.
Yeah, indeed. Now, just a little while ago, Rutledge showed us that 65 GTO that was all modified. This is a bone stock, correct 1969 Pontiac GTO convertible, matching numbers, 400 cubic inch V8, 350 horsepower, not a Ram Air, nope, not a Judge, of course, got the hood-mounted tachometer, and a lot of power outside of the engine room, like power steering, power brakes, power convertible top, and it's got the Pontiac Historic Services documentation to go along with it. Don't forget those beautiful Rally 2 wheels with raised white letter tires. We'll see this one on the block later today.
Oh, yummy, yummy. Wouldn't have blamed somebody to make that into a Judge replica, but keeping it the way it is very, very cool.
Yeah.
How about this 88 Chevy 1500 pickup truck that just hammered for 20 grand? Pretty clean.
It's a choo-choo. It's a choo-choo conversion. You know what that is? See all of the exterior add-ons here, the running boards and some of the extra chrome and the graphics and everything?
Right.
From choo-choo conversions. And yeah, boy, that sold for a bargain price right there.
We had one of those choo-choos yesterday, I think.
Yep.
And so a 2013 BMW 650i X-Drive on our block now.
Yeah, this was not an inexpensive automobile back in 2013. This has that twin-turbo 4.4-liter V8 with 445 horsepower. A technology tour de force in that engine with 4 valves per cylinder, double overhead cams. This one with an automatic and all-wheel drive. Power convertible top, extras all over the place. Nav, leather, heated and cooled seats, backup camera, head-up display, and the 19-inch alloy wheels. A carbon black outside with the tan inside. Man, you'll get a premium parking spot in any restaurant that's got a valet when you pull in with that. Man.
Yeah, the problem is, like me, most of the places I go don't have a valet.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Popeye's Chicken doesn't have a valet service, I guess. What an eyeful, though, huh?
Sure is. Yeah. That's carbon black, but it almost has a hint of blue in it,
under
doesn't
these
it?
lights. Yes, looks like a deep, deep navy, but they call it carbon black.
Still working on it. 16 grand now, 17 at no reserve. By the way, about 80, a little more than 80 cars and trucks today will be crossing at no reserve. And this one brings $17,000 by the time all is said and done.
Comprehensively restored. This low loader London taxi.
All right, here is a very cool piece, Bill.
Yeah.
In case your rental has a problem, you can catch the taxi back to the hotel later.
Yeah, maybe Uber is running these now. Who knows? But, you know, we've had some oddballs here in Indianapolis this weekend. And here's another one. 1936 Austin, London taxi. That's a rebuilt 1861cc inline 4 you just saw. 4-speed manual transmission. And this one is totally original. This is exactly the way this taxi would have been tooting around London back in the 1930s. The taxi meter is still in there. It's got Landau folding top. You see the Landau bars there on the side of the roof. Got a roof rack up top there with the hardwood runners.
I presume Austin would be the same as Austin Healey.
Prior to Donald Healey coming in? Yes.
Yeah.
right.
11, 12, 11, 12 pounds, another you down, 11, 12, 11 a bit, 12, 11 down, 12
I
pounds.
tell you what,
down, 12,
I mention this often when I speak to groups or in interviews. When you come to a Mecum auction, two things are going to happen. Regardless, you're going to see something that you've never seen before in person, and you can lay eyes on it in person, or you'll see something you didn't even know existed before.
True, especially this weekend.
So, 12 pounds, $500.
How about that micro car yesterday that Rutledge tried to squeeze into?
Yes.
I saw one of those.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, well,
I don't know if
that's
roomy
in
is
the
a
eye of the
word I would
beholder.
use.
I don't know.
We've got some fun micro cars coming up today. There's even one pulling a boat.
Well, in fact, speaking of Austin Healey, we did not script this at all, but here is a 1966 BJ8.
Boy, if these cars suddenly exploded on the collector's radar screen. These big Healey's, the BJ8, this has got the back seat in it, but, you know, I don't know anybody small enough to fit. Well, Rutledge might be able to fit in there, actually.
You know, I'm up for a challenge. This is a car that my dad, who grew up on Route 66 outside Albuquerque, New Mexico, had such an appreciation for these cars. So I knew about them when I was a little kid. And yeah, you're right. They've really kind of come out of the woodwork lately. Really nice examples of it.
Yeah, the highly restored ones, you know, the 100-point cars are trading way above this one right here. But it's like a driver quality Austin Healey BJ8. Get in and go to Route 66.
20 grand, 21, 2, 21, 22. 21 to be at 22 down, two. Here down 1, 2.
Odometer reads over 63,000 miles, so there's plenty of enjoyment under the belt of this Healey.
This is one of these cars, I'm sure you'd agree, when those carbs are tuned up just right, and it's got the right exhaust note on there, it's just a symphony when it comes by you.
Yeah, that raspy exhaust note, unmistakable.
They have 24 asking 25. What do you think? 25?
26 and 26
Okay, Russ Conklin, lower left, our auctioneer of record at the moment, 25,000. Gaddles the Austin Healey.
Money well spent.
Hey, Bill, it's a British automobile o'clock.
You are right, sir.
Here's a little Lotus Super 7 from 1964.
These cars right here, you want to talk about a car that's fun to drive. They are so responsive, and they handle like a go-kart, and not particularly blessed with a lot of horsepower, but they don't need that much because they're so light.
Yes.
1600cc twin-cam Toyota inline 4 with a 4-speed manual, and I'll tell you, if you ever went to an autocross back in the 1990s, maybe 1980s, going back 30, 40 years, if you saw one of these cars, you knew who was going to win the class. You just couldn't beat them. So quick and so light, and again, just a blast to drive. There was even a company, Westfield, that built replicas of these. These were so popular, and so many people wanted them.
10, 11 pounds of dollars, internet. 10 pounds and 11 pounds of dollars. Last call. 10, 11, 12. High down 12 pounds of dollars, Alex. 11, 12. 12 pounds and under bid.
Internet with the high bid at 11.
Now 12. Hit a big at 12 pounds and under bid. 13 pounds and under down. 12 pounds and under. 13 to bid. 13 to bid. Down negative 13 pounds under down. 13 pounds in. Last call. 12, 13, 14. 14 bid.
Yeah, 13 bid on the internet. It will be 14. 14. Yes!
Oh, the brilliance of Colin Chapman, responsible for the Lotus becoming one of the marquee performance sports cars from England.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you
long.
very much. Thank you.
Okay, good back and forth there, and the little 64 Lotus hammers for $15,000 as we say hey again to Chris Jacobs.
Yeah, Scott, well, you know when it comes to styling and design, what Harley Earl was to Chevrolet, Virgil Exner was to Chrysler, and this is perhaps his greatest design. 1962 Chrysler Imperial. Let's go through some of the features. First of all, the floating headlights. I mean, just absolutely iconic. Look at that style. Just gorgeous. Swing around and take a look at the interior of the car. This one is featuring a 413 under the hood with a push-button transmission. You can see that just absolutely brilliant design on the steering wheel. Gorgeous interior on this car also. And then finally, we swing around to these lights, and this is the easiest way to tell a 1962 Imperial from the rear. These taillights, gun sight taillights as some call them, were 1 year only. Again, just a design feature that has Virgil's fingerprints all over it. Gorgeous, gorgeous example of this 1962. Air conditioning, power seats, power windows, all the luxury as a 62 Imperial would be expected to have. Can't wait to see this one cross the block a little bit later. Scott?
It is on the way, and Bill, you're nodding your head.
Yeah, Virgil Exner, I'm glad you gave him props, Chris. It's funny, though, he started designing that car in early 1961, and he was gone from Chrysler by the time that car debuted, so he did not get the credit for that car that he should have.
We're finishing up here on another little British car, the MGTC from 1948. And this, how many times do we mention this, Bill? This is exactly where the money should be on something like this, anywhere between 20, 25 grand.
Yes, this is a market that just kind of plays in the same neighborhood just time after time. But these cars so important in MG history, the cars that we say helped America learn about two-seat sports motoring.
Well, we do have modern Rolls-Royce machinery coming up. How about one from 1936? And this is the Rolls-Royce 2530 with coachwork by Freestone and Webb.
Total elegance in 1936. These cars were going head-to-head with Cadillac in this country and all of the other premium brands, but something about a Rolls-Royce, just the name of it itself, kind of gives it a little extra glitter. This one, a right-hand drive automobile, 4.2-liter inline six-cylinder engine, 4-speed manual, but not so much the power plant, but the fit finish, the appearance, the eyeball in this car is what really sells it.
And I think our friend Wilfredo just showed us there's a little kind of a slit on the side there underneath that passenger window. I think, Bill, those might be semaphores that come out for the turn signals.
For the turn signals, yep. They were manual, and you would just reach up, and if you were signaling your turn, yep, they would come out and let people know. Got the side-mounted spares, big white wall tires, beautiful green, silver, splashed along the side.
And this one, if you were trying to have it be show ready, could definitely use a paint job, a little bit of cracking over the years, but it is so elegant as a piece of artwork for the certain collector who's got room in their garage. What a great conversation piece. Just like you said, elegance every way you see it.
And if you own that car, you will be invited to any Concours high-end automobile show anywhere in the world. If it's a Rolls, come on in.
$22,500. He's got 1.5? He's got 22. All right.
23 pound down, 3 high down, 23 pound down, 23 pounds and out of bed down, 3 to bed down, 22.5, 23,000 dollars. Anybody else? So $22,500 next.
Okay, there you go. Thumbs up for that young man, indeed. $22,500. About that 36 Rolls Royce. Well, there's a look at some of the cars in our staging lane today in Indy. Want to remind you that coming up next for us, we will head to Dallas-Fort Worth. Actually, the Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, and our coverage begins October 30th right here on ESPN+. Hope you can make plans to be with us in person or certainly here on ESPN+. Right now, check in with Danielle Trotta once again.
Thanks, Scott Hoke. We have some beautiful luxury crossing the block later today, including this 2014 Maserati Gran Turismo Sport Coupe V8 engine built by Ferrari. Now, this was developed jointly between Ferrari engineers and Maserati engineers. The engine does come out of Maranello. The V8 engine under the hood going to put out 460 horsepower, 0 to 60 time 4.7 seconds, 6-speed automatic transmission, only 4,905 miles inside. That beautiful, sleek black leather interior, paddle shifters. She is beautiful, Scott. Can't wait to see her cross the block here in a little bit.
Love it. Yes, I saw that one the other day. Fantastic car. Thank you, DT. Back into the Coliseum here with the final minutes of this 1956 F100 up for auction. $21,000 for it at the moment, Bill.
Not a major custom, very conservative, very tasteful changes here. You see the wheels there, those slotted mags. And underneath the hood now, they could have a 6-cylinder engine back in 1956. This has the optional 292 Y-block V8 in it. And they've added some Willwood front disc brakes as well. But otherwise, pretty original looking pickup.
It is indeed, and $21,000 is going to be the high bid for that pickup truck. Check this out. 69 El Camino Super Sport with a big block 454 under that hood, Bill. Wow.
Well, it is Big Blocktober, so we have to certainly tip our hat to this engine here. This has got aluminum heads on it too, so this is making some horsepower. I'm guessing well over 450. Automatic transmission, power steering, 4-wheel power disc brakes. Yep, some very well thought out changes on this with 373 pausing in the back with a 12-bolt pumpkin. MSD ignition, custom wheels, and that yellow, man, can't get away from that.
Well, you can't. And out in the staging lanes, this is one that was really attracting people like a bug light, just the way it just draws them in. There's something about that yellow, obviously the lines on this car, but I think it's that big block build that was really pushing people over the top.
Yeah.
But when you look at the money for what you'd spend to try to build this, again, some great deals here this weekend.
Way under.
I love how you brought in the people being attracted to it like flies, because Ferrari calls their yellow fly yellow, and we've talked about this.
Yeah.
It attracts flies.
It's not just a clever nickname.
No, it actually is what it is.
Well, it's not going to be enough here, $22,000. Need to do a little bit more work on that to get the deal done.
Yeah, if I'm the consignor, I'm not going to get rid of that car for that kind of money.
Most of my bug lights are blue, though.
Well, it's a different technology.
Good one.
Yep.
1980 Turbo Trans Am from Pontiac.
Yeah, the world was changing in the world of the Trans Am in 1980. No more 400 cubic inch V8. You got the turbo 4.9 liter V8, and this has the WS6 performance package. If you know what that means, you know that it gives it a little bit more extra go power. Automatic transmission in this one, as you can see, white over red. Power 4-wheel disc brakes. And while we're talking about the brakes, let's talk about the wheels. It's got those snowflake wheels with Cooper Cobra radial raised white letter GT tires and splitter exhausts. Yeah, that turbo 4.9, we saw that again in 1981. And I'll tell you, when the Trans Am was at its height, this was a car that did not have to give quarter to anything else on Main Street. They were good to go.
Bill, what was the reception like when they came out with the turbo?
Actually, it wasn't bad because you remember the 400 cubic inch engine had lost so much power by then that the turbo 4.9 really wasn't giving up a whole lot in that department. So it wasn't the big disappointment that maybe some people would have predicted.
Okay, 36 will be the high bid for the Turbo TA from 1980. And next up is a 2009 Viper, Brother Bill, the SRT 10. 600 horses out of that V10.
Yep. By now, instead of the 8-liter V10, we're up to 8.4 liters in a V10. The first Viper, 400 horsepower. This one, 600 horsepower. The 6-speed manual, of course, found itself in all of the Vipers. Viper red exterior, as I mentioned on previous telecast, red is the only color that you could get on every year Viper. Of course, in the first year of the Viper, it's the only color you could get, but Red, very popular on these cars. This is an honest 195 to 200 mile an hour car with all that horsepower, and the styling speaks for itself. Of course, the Viper went away in 2017, and 2009 was the end of that generation. Came back in 2013 and ran out the string with 640 horsepower.
Can you believe? It's hard for me to believe that it's been almost 9 years since the Viper went away, man. Seems like yesterday.
Yes, and Rutledge asked me if I thought the Viper was going to come back, and I said no, and he got mad at me. Remember that?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't ask you, should it come back? I asked you, do you think it will? Those are very different questions, you know? Very different questions. How do you like the wing on that one? I found it looks pretty nice on there. It's maybe not my first thought, but it works.
It kind of vibes the ACR, the racing version. Right. And for some people, they love it. And it's an acquired taste, I think.
We got 54.
Well, reserve is off, according to Frank Mecum. And at 54,000, that's where that happens. By the way, you've had a couple of them, right? A couple of Vipers.
Well, one. I had one that I owned, and one that I drove that my friend owned. So yes.
What was your top speed? You personally?
Oh. I'm a weenie. I think I took it out to a $130, $140 once.
Okay, that's
on
okay.
a racetrack, of course.
Oh, of course. Oh no, I would never do that on a public
It was
street.
in his neighborhood, actually.
I always observe locally posted speed limits.
Oh, very nice. 56,000, and they're going to have fun with that 09 Viper.
Scott, seems like a great time to thank all the law enforcement officers that watch this show and love it. Bill and I especially appreciate them watching every weekend.
Thank you for your service.
Absolutely. That is very true. Here's a 69 Olds Cutlass S, and I will tell you, too, that a friend of mine got pulled over in his neighborhood for going too slow in his SRT8. No kidding, true story.
Wow.
Yes. Anyway, 26,000 as we open it up on this Cutlass.
Yeah, it's a cool little car. It's not a 442, obviously. It's got the 350 in it, and that is the factory 350. That's the engine the car was born with. Restored about 3 years ago. Power steering and brakes, pretty color, that yellow. And the vinyl top, of course, very popular back in the 1960s.
And the reserve's off. Guys, that's a nice car.
It is, isn't it?
A lot of great variety this weekend.
Yep, that's like 2 steps away from a 442 clone, but I like it the way it is.
All right, it brings 26.5. And speaking of the V word, variety, here we go. 1972 Citroen SM Fastback.
Bonjour.
I'm only going to say one thing, and then I'll hand it off to Rutledge.
Okay.
When I was a young man, we called these the cars from outer space.
I tell you, I think it was National Lampoon's European Vacation that introduced me to the Citroen.
Oh, yes, could have.
Okay.
And you know what? It's so fascinating when you look at a car. So 1972, you think about the cars that we were making in this country in 1972, and in France, this is what they were making. And sometimes you wonder, are we on the same planet? Because these cars were just so funky, so wild, so different. That's the one thing you got to give them credit for. They always seemed like they had an absolute direction they were going, and some people just absolutely love them. This is obviously one that's been taken great care of. And Bill, you've got a little more on the specs on it, but it's a cool-looking car.
Well, that's the thing. It's all about the style. This has a Maserati connection. The engine comes from Maserati. It's a V6. It's got the hydro-pneumatic self-leveling suspension. If you want to change the tire on this, now follow me. You take your jack, you raise the suspension up, you put the jack under the car, you bring the suspension down, and that raises the wheel off the pavement, and you can take it off and change it. And when they were doing that back in 1970, that was just another reason why nobody really understood what they were looking at.
Guys, we would be remiss if we didn't mention Burt Reynolds in The Longest Yard in that opening car chase when Burt's behind the wheel of the Citroen. And he gets away from the cops and then dumps his car into the water. If you haven't seen it, it's kind of a must-see car chase.
Geez, they must have used an AMFA car maybe for a stunt double.
Good call, Chris.
No reserve, yes, no reserve.
22.5.
22,500.
Automobile Magazine ranked this car as number 11 on their list of 100 coolest cars. Okay, so it found some love.
Sure.
That center panel on the front that was for a front plate that was still covered in the kind of plexiglass. I always see stuff like that and go, oh, it's pretty brilliant. You know, if you give them credit for it,
Well,
it was aerodynamic. I don't know if you could get the car fast enough that it would really have a huge impact.
Make a difference, right?
But good for them.
Maybe not. Hey, but here today in Indy in 2025, it just gabbled for $21,500. 1937 four-panel truck, all set to go here.
Pretty. There's another yellow vehicle. It's got all the eyeball you want. Randall's Wine and Spirits lettering. I get a feeling that that's a real place. Someone was playing homage to Randall's Wine and Spirits shop.
Well, this is actually from the George Randall collection from down in Texas.
So he probably had a little shop, and they may have used this as a delivery vehicle. Who knows?
Quite possibly.
It's got a flatty in it, 239 cubic inch flathead with Stromberg 97 carburetor. Popular choice for hot rodders back then. And a 3-speed manual.
$15,000 on that half. I'd get it about 15. At 15 bid, I'd get it about 15. I'd get it about 14. 15. I'd get it.
We deliver wine, spirits, beer, and more. There you go.
15. I'd get it at 14 a bid. I'd get it at 15,000 a bid. And I'd get it at 15. 15. I'd get it at 14. Last call, y'all. 15,000 a bid. And if it get 15,000 down, I'd get it at 15. Down at half. Sold 14,000. Sold 14,000.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Matt Morvac
Bring us 36 of 1933.
will gavel that one at 14 grand.
6-cylinder, 3-speed.
Let's go back to 1930 for a moment, shall we, Bill? Also a car from the George Randall collection. It's a Franklin 145 sedan.
Yeah, the Franklin, not a familiar brand to a lot of people, but back in the 1930s, it was a fairly successful brand of automobile. This one with an inline 6, 274 cubic inch displacement, Stromberg carburetor. Yeah, another one of those carbs, and a 3-speed manual. This was like the upper trim level for the Franklin back in 1930. They weren't all as well dressed as this one. Leather trimmed interior. Dual side mounts, of course, makes any vehicle look high-end. And again, not a highly valuable automobile. It looks like it should be.
Sure.
Okay, that sounds good. I have you. Next one.
Internet has the high bid. Phone is involved, upper left-hand corner, or was involved. So they're out.
Sold.
And there it is, $12,000. Very, very reasonable, and you get a beautiful car and certainly a conversation piece anywhere you go.
In the last 20 minutes, what did we sell? Like maybe $25,000 worth of cars out of all the ones that crossed.
Oh my goodness, El Camino time coming up a bit later on. This one's from 1959. Yeah, it's got a 409. That's a transplant, but this is one of the best Elkies we have at this entire auction. Total restoration done less than a year ago, Bill Stevens. That's crossing the block in a little while. Whoa.
That looked like the dual quad 409 with 425 horsepower.
Right.
Holy guacamole.
Yeah, some upgrades to that engine room as well, along with the engine itself. We'll have that coming up a bit later on. For now, though, we'll continue with this 1929 Hudson Model R Coupe.
It's an R model, yes, from 1929. 288 cubic inch inline 6-cylinder engine with a 3-speed manual transmission. Probably a little less than 100 horsepower in that 6-cylinder back in 1929. This was considered a hot car back then. This one with a rumble seat and the mechanical drum brakes. The Hudsons hadn't worked in the hydraulic brakes yet on these cars, and it sells for under 10 grand.
Sure thing. Had a number of those yesterday, sub 10,000. I think the bottom end yesterday was $1,000.
Yes, sir.
For was it a pickup truck? Can't recall, but it was $1,000. So
Right. Yes, the pickup with all the patina on it.
oh, right.
The Ford,
Yes.
it was an F-150.
Yes, right. Okay, military Jeep time. In 1952, Willis M38A1. Man, this would be right up Steve Matchett's alley, huh?
He could tell you everything you wanted to know about this Jeep. He is a collector and a restorer, and a great one at that. 135 cube inline 4-cylinders, like so many of those old military Jeeps had. 3-speed manual and 4-wheel drive. A little Jeep that helped win the war. Little utility trailer comes along with it, that single axle trailer you see behind it. Boy, the next Memorial Day parade, that's what you ought to be driving down Main Street, USA. That has a gun mount on it too.
One on the passenger side as well.
Yeah. Now, a while back, I did some documentaries for PBS, and one of them was the Jeep, the Unstoppable Soldier. And boy, if that isn't an apt description of those little guys, I don't know what is.
Sure is. And it sells at $14,000 at no reserve. And right now, we'll take a minute, check in with Chris Jacobs, who is standing by for us in the 303 staging lane.
Yes, Scott. Well, the values of Grand Nationals has skyrocketed in the last 4 or 5 years. And 87 seems to be the year that everybody wants because that was the last year of production. They made just over 20,000 of them in 87. But don't sleep on the 86, much more rare. Just over 5,500 of these were produced. 10 horsepower less, so still it's got some get up and go out of this 3.8 sequential fuel injected turbo. But what makes this particular 86 special? Well, there's only 9 miles on the odometer of this car, a true time capsule. I don't know how somebody didn't give in to the desire to drive this unbelievable car. Very, very clean, as you can see. The paint is pretty much perfect. All of the seals and the moldings and everything look perfect as well. The only little quirky thing I can see on this car, if we swing around to the grill here, one of the only few ways to distinguish between the 86 and the 87 is by the grill. This appears to be an 87 grill. 86 had a chrome strip right here that said Buick, and also a vertical chrome strip that split the grill. So this appears to have been switched out for an 87 grill. Otherwise, pure 86, like I said, complete time capsule. Man, when this one goes across the block, it's going to get a lot of attention because of those only 9 miles on the odometer. Scott.
Oh, Chris, you are exactly right, my friend. Expect frenzied bidding on that car a little bit later on. Right now in the Fairgrounds Coliseum here in Indy, we have a 1957 Thunderbird convertible, triple red, I believe.
Triple red and ready to go. Now, according to the consignor, that's a 308 cubic inch V8 in there. And I'm kind of doing some math here. So it either took a 292 and bored it out, or they took a 312 and de-stroked it. I don't know, but it's a 308 according to the consignor, with an automatic transmission. And yeah, they upgraded the cooling system, put an aluminum radiator in there, and it's got AC. And of course, that porthole hardtop. It's so representative of those first generation Thunderbirds.
Hang on.
Real wires, white wall tires.
115, down 2, 22,000. 5, 22.5, and down 5, I'm gonna vote 5 down, I'm gonna vote sold 22, sold 22,000.
You will not miss that car. No matter where you see it, you're going to be attracted to it for sure. $22,000. Chevy pickup, 1948, a 5-window. They have done a lot of custom work, obviously, on this pickup truck. Let's start the engine.
Yeah, the engine, it's pretty much what you might expect. Small block V8 with a 4-barrel. Nothing radical there. But how about the body now? Take a close look at what they did here. That is a 48 Chevy cab, the 5-window cab with a step-side bed that's been married onto the back of it. So it's kind of a clever approach to customizing your pickup truck. Other things, you saw the custom wheels there. They've added air conditioning to this. And that wild graphic paint job with the orange and the yellow and the blue pinstriping and the blue accents on the doors. I'd call this an older build. I don't think this is the kind of thing anybody would have been doing this, really, that kind of customization very recently. But it's different and it sells.
Sure is. And it sells for $20,000. And next up is another one of those manufacturers, Bill, that you can put a check mark by. One of the many from the early 1900s that ended up falling by the wayside. Maxwell, 1923 Maxwell.
Yeah, you make a good point, Scott. In 1901, there were about 200 companies building automobiles in the United States, and by 1920, there were 500 companies building automobiles, and a lot of the companies didn't last long. They had been building horse buggies and things like that up until then, and wanted to jump on the automobile bandwagon and really didn't have the staying power to keep at it. Maxwell, one of those companies that hung in there for a while. This one with a 30 horsepower inline 4-cylinder with a 3-speed transmission. And look at that, $5,000 for a very well presented little Maxwell.
Great look at those disc wheels. I think those are super cool. Okay, $5,000 for the Maxwell. You know what? We want to once again welcome a brand new sponsor to the family here at Mecum Auctions, and I'm talking about Real Garage Life. They feature Advantage lifts. You see one of those here in Indy. Backyard Buddy, Warren Steel Specialties, much more to help you get your entire garage ready to go. You might not need a lift. That's okay. They've got a lot more. And Rutledge Wood now standing by. As you see the website, by the way, lower left, realgaragelife.com. Rutledge standing by with our Real Garage Life preview. Rutledge?
Yeah, thanks, Scott. Found a beautiful 58 Chevy Bel Air. Love those twin headlights on this thing. When you take a look at this, this is a show car that is built to have a good time. Beautiful blue paint on there, 350 under the hood. You got AC, power steering, you name it. Interior's beautiful too. They shaved the door handles. But you know, this is a car that they paid a lot of attention to detail everywhere you look. Look inside even, and take a look underneath of this car. You can see they painted a lot of panels underneath, tried to get everything as clean as they could. And if you have a car like this, that's really where a group like Real Garage Life comes in, because you want to have a lift that you can actually keep your cars clean and detailed, always ready for those shows. I know I wish I did. You can go to their website, realgaragelife.com, or the App Store, download their free app, and then you can use the augmented reality that they have inside the app, and you can actually take pictures of your garage and decide, okay, do I have room for a 2-post lift, or I want a 4-post lift? Oh, what about some cabinets? What sort of storage do I need? All of those needs, they're all on realgaragelife.com and their cool app. You got to check it out, Scott. It's amazing.
It is indeed. There you see it again, the website, realgaragelife.com. Jump on board, and thank you, Rutledge, for the preview of that car. On the block right now, we have another Franklin that is selling a no reserve. Actually, this is a 1928 Franklin race car.
Yeah, Scott, probably kind of vehicle you would have seen at the 1928 Indianapolis 500. This is stripped down, and this is the way that race cars were built back in the 1920s. There's every possibility that that platform came from a standard street version of the Franklin and was completely modified for racing. Of course, the body is different from what the production car would have looked like. No fenders, and a little inline 6-cylinder engine providing the power with a manual transmission.
And the car actually sells for $6,000.
Well, you could start your own motorsports museum for a little bit of money today.
Exactly.
Wow.
Add this 1930 custom boat tail speedster into that mix.
Yeah, this was built by Engelman Engineering, their boat tail speedster body with an inline 4 and a 3-speed manual, and very primitive hardware on this. I mean, the suspension, just those old-fashioned transverse leaf springs, front and rear, and the mechanical brakes and the old-style wire wheels, narrow tires. And back in the day, there was no attention paid at all to protecting the driver from all of the dangers out there.
No.
Brave men get behind the wheel of cars like this.
$4,500 buys this little custom at no reserve here in Indy.
For the Los Angeles Fire Department as a parade.
And here is one from the never seen it before category. However, Rutledge Wood has been foaming at the mouth for this George Barris Firebug all day long.
How could you not be? First off, it's a Barris custom. You see those little details that he was always known for everywhere you look. The wild part is it's called a Firebug and not a Firebus. It's actually built on a bus chassis. You know, a lot of times for Shriners and parades and stuff, you'll see people chop them down. You can see how short the wheelbase is between the two. But this one is a dually set up on the back. These are those original vents that would have been on the bus. You can see with this fire truck theme everywhere. You've got a seat in the back, real hose reels. Everything about this thing is so legit. But the fact, guys, that it's a Barris custom, I mean, this is a piece of history you would get to own alongside it.
Well, you know, he got help from Dick Dean when he built that Firebug, and Dick Dean now, another one of those notoriously famous hot rod builders from back in the day. You might remember in Monterey a few years ago, we had a whole collection of some of those original custom cars, and Dick Dean had several of them there.
I mean, it is, guys, talk about a people pleaser. Everybody who's been walking through the staging lanes is just drawn to this thing. Because I think what he always did so well, George Barris, was he mixed really automotive trends with art and style and function. And just what a cool piece that would be.
Well, you know, if you ever have a weird-looking fire, that's what you want to have to come and put it out.
Hey, and $27,000 just bought that little Firebug.
Oh, boy.
From the hand of George Barris.
That is a trip.
Yeah. You just never know what you'll see. Speaking of, here's a 1922 Model T Depot hack that's been converted to a one-man band almost.
Have you guys ever seen something cross here that has a calliope?
I don't think so.
I don't believe we have.
That is that all-in-one, one-man band music setup that you've seen there. The lights on this alone, again, what cool cars we get. The variety of cars that come through Mecum, there's just nothing like it.
Hey, you know what? And that's not a reproduction, or that isn't anything that was recently built. That is a 1922 Ford Model T.
Yes.
With a bandwagon treatment. Little four-cylinder engine, the planetary transmission, that two-speed transmission that came years before they learned how to make synchronous transmissions.
And $8,000. And you'll have some great tunes going wherever you go.
The 250 GTO, the Gran Turismo Omologato, is an absolute watershed moment for Ferrari.
Graham Hill raced this car. Salvadori raced this car. And every time I hold that wheel, I know that, hey, I'm connecting to those people.
If you're going to own the best of the best, you got to have a GTO.
It represents excellence, and it represents everything that Ferrari are known for.
Well, what more can be said, Bill, except that that car will be part of our Kissimmee telecast in January, one of the more massive moments that we have anticipated.
I've spoken to my friend Pete Brock any number of times. We know him from what he did with Shelby in the Daytona Coupe. And if you ask him, the biggest influence on him when he designed the Daytona Coupe was the 250 GTO.
Yep. All right, let's take a moment before we get back to the block and check in with Chris Jacobs.
All right, thanks a lot, Scott. It's always great to see these going across the auction block. This is, of course, the last of the last calls in 2023 for Dodge, the D170. Just like the 2018 Demon, they only produced 3,000 of these for the domestic market and 300 for the Canadian market. This one only has delivery miles on it, 14 miles on the clock. This one has, it's black with that red interior Alcantara wrapped steering wheel. The 6.2-liter supercharged V8 puts out an astonishing 1,025 horsepower. Absolutely incredible car. This one does not have the sunroof option, does not have the carbon fiber wheels option. These are the forged aluminum wheels, so that's why the sticker price on this car is only $121,000. Now I say only, of course, that's still very expensive. Let's see what it does when it goes across the auction block in just a little bit. The D170 is coming, Scott.
Thanks for the heads up, CJ. We appreciate it. All eyes will be on the block when it arrives. And just an opportunity to remind you folks watching at home that Dodge, once again in 2025, we're very thankful that they are the official motor vehicle manufacturer sponsor of Mecum Auctions. And they've been that position for many, many years. We love it. Okay, let's check out the car on the, well, that just finished on the block, Bill, an LT1 from 72 that reached a high bid of $37,000.
Yeah, the third year of the C3 LT1. Horsepower had been dropped from 370 down to 255, but this one with a 4-speed manual, still a hoot to drive, trust me.
Okay, another Corvette right behind it from 72 now. This has had a little bit of work done.
A little bit more hoot in this Corvette. Big Blocktober lives on. It's got a 454 that's been punched out to 496 cubic inches. That is a 454, 60 thousandths of an inch over. Comp cams, aftermarket intake manifold, aftermarket Holley 850 CFM carburetor. Man, oh man, this one also has a 4-speed in it. And this one, I'm telling you, this is probably a 12-second quarter-mile Corvette without breaking a sweat. Yeah, I'm going to guess north of 500 horsepower on tap in this vet.
37.
Steel City's gray, one of our favorite colors on these C3s for sure.
No doubt.
Yep. Hey, and that's just been resprayed only one time.
Yeah.
So, looking good.
It is ready. Street or strip. This car actually came from the factory with AC, believe it or not. But that's been removed because, quite frankly, when you're going to put that much horsepower in it, having the air conditioning is not even an afterthought. Who needs it? Let's go fast.
40 grand buys that 72 Corvette. 1956 F100 right behind it. This with the big window, big back window option.
Oh, that is a cutie. Y-block 292 with a 3-speed manual and overdrive as well. Look at the detailing underneath there. Very nicely presented with a wood bed. And the only thing that's missing is Lassie up in the back. It's found its way into a magazine, the Vintage Truck Magazine, back in 2006. So this truck has been in this kind of condition now for quite a while. Probably has not had a lot of mileage put on it. Just cruise nights, maybe some vintage rallies, and that's about it.
High bid on that 56 F100, $37,000. And I believe our first Camaro of this day from 1967, one of the 80 or so, more than 80 cars selling at no reserve today.
Badged as an SS, it is not. Standard Camaro Coupe, 327. Back in 67, the 327 and the 350 were both available. There you see the 327. 4-barrel on there. Some aftermarket valve covers, power steering and brakes. Front and rear spoilers and rally wheels that made their debut in 1967. Cup holder console's been added there, you can see in between. Keeping it simple. Selling at no reserve.
You want to get $41,000.
Never a bad option to put this color of blue. If you're going to restore a car and repaint it, whatever, that is always a solid color choice.
That whole blue family, excuse me, from Corvette and Camaro, Le Mans blue, Nassau blue,
okay. Well, I got
Marina blue.
Marina blue.
37 in the gray shirt. Sir, got 35.
Slight differences between them, but all very attractive.
35 bid. 37. 35, 37.
And a little earlier in the 63, 64 Corvette, Daytona blue, my favorite.
Dark blue, yeah, that's sweet.
Or 38. They said 38 would do it too. Okay, no. Okay. All good. What's
38, now 40, now 40. It's all set. 39, 40. I get 39 to bid 40.
Foam bidder out.
40. Pound it all later done. And 39, 40. Last call. Iron David at 9 here down 48,000 all later done and a half. So 39.
There it is, Trev Morvac.
Lot S56.
Finalizing the deal at 39,000.
Alpine stereo, 20-inch Riddler wheels. No reserve.
Well, I think they've taken every single blue that we've just mentioned, Bill, and applied it to this 1977 GMC Sierra.
All there, the full color palette on one truck. Yep, it's got a 350 in it with an automatic, but yeah, the paint job is really the story. And a nice choice of wheels as well, Riddler wheels, 20-inch diameter. And underneath the hood, not a show truck, as you can see, this is a driver quality custom. And I'm going to guess with that paint treatment, we're going back a little ways when that was applied. Interior keeping it pretty original, bench seat, column shift.
You know, that truck looks like it's the ride height's just a little lower than norm, and those 20-inch wheels, they don't look too much.
No,
they're not trying too hard at all on this truck. It
well,
really
look at the
works.
size of the wheel wells too.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they don't get lost.
22 is wet high, 23. Just see if we got a number. I need to get down to 3. You got $22,000.
$22,000. You know, we haven't discussed this yet today. Just in case you did not see yesterday's telecast, yes, the vehicles are rolling the opposite direction today. It took a little bit of time for us to get used to it, but this is just kind of a one-off deal because of the layout here in Indy.
Yep.
And so we had a little bit of fun with it. Different for sure.
And you get a great look at the drivers.
Exactly.
Everybody wins.
All right, $23,000 buys that 77 GMC. And now to the 58 Bel Air. I think Rutledge gave us the once through this one a bit ago.
Yeah, we got a really good look at the top side of this 58 Chevy Bel Air. We got a quick peek at the underside. It'll take a little bit more time now and show you just how beautifully detailed that is. 1958, first year for the X-frame in the Chevrolet full-size cars, and there you see it right there. The dual mufflers, the dual exhausts. Look at how clean those floor pans are, and you see that aluminum cover there on the differential. That's, I'm sorry, on the automatic transmission. That's a very well presented chassis, and every show car should probably be that clean. $350 for power. Turbo automatic. And you saw the underside of the car, the floor pans, the body color. They carried that all the way through. All the flooring on that car underneath the carpeting has been painted to match the outside of the car. That's an extra step.
Well, there we go. No reserve for $26,000. Still a lot of cars to come. We're here until 4 p.m. Eastern today with you on ESPN. Back in a moment. That's the Indiana State Fairgrounds, our headquarters this weekend, and specifically there at the very top of the screen in the Coliseum That's where we're originating live today on ESPN Plus. I'm Scott Hoke with Bill Stevens and Chris Jacobs, Danielle, Trotta, Rutledge, Wood. And you, thanks so much for joining us. We're taking a look at a 78 Pace Car Edition Corvette now. The reserve just came off, Bill. Just hammered at $28,000.
Market correct for these, 159 miles showing on the odometer. So this is trading above where we may normally see the ones that get driven. The base, L48 350 with an automatic, not the 4-speed.
And next, Brother Bill, I'm going to turn you loose on one of your faves, a 93 GMC Typhoon. This one, very original.
Oh, man, I just sold mine a couple of years ago that I had owned for 20 years. I bought it on the day that one of my sons was born, and I'll tell you, every time I see one, I get a little weepy.
I was going to say, are you going to make yourself sad?
I know, I do that, don't I? I get emotionally involved. 4.3-liter turbocharged V6, 280 horse with the 4-speed automatic. Let me tell you something. These trucks will turn heads for the next 1,000 years. Every time you see one, people just can't help and stop and take a look. Only 2,200 of these were built, and the secret to their success as street performers was how well they hooked up with that all-wheel drive. They would just hold shot all day long and take your breath away.
The first time I drove mine, I bought it online. I drove it, and I called a friend. I said, dude, I think it's trying to like slam second gear. And he said, oh, no, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to.
Exactly.
Just put your foot down. What a fun ride. I had a lot of fun. You know, the 93 kind of preferable over the 92. It had the better seats inside.
Yep.
Was yours green? I'm trying to remember.
No, mine was red with the silver on the bottom.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, mine was all black. I put some black rotiforms on there. That's all I did.
Yep.
And then it still, when it sold, it looked exactly like that. What cool trucks those
Clint Eastwood owned 3 of them.
Wow. That says a lot.
Yep.
Well, the high bid on that Typhoon was $27K, and we'll check out. Dana Mecum is checking this car out. It's a 65 Corvette convertible with a little mouse motor.
Yeah, matching numbers, 327 to 300 horse. That's one step up from the base 327. 4-speed Muncie. Just about everything else on this car appears to be pretty original to me. The brake system recently refurbished. Remember, in 1965, the first year for the 4-wheel disc brakes. Convertible top is white. And you know what? There's probably an instance where if the top was up, I wouldn't mind it too much. That'd look great with that red paint.
I agree. White interior, white walls.
Yeah.
Door panels.
Good looking vet.
Sure is. 47 is the high bid on the Corvette. And we will allow this 1978 Bronco to make its presence known. Hard to miss it with that paint combination, huh?
Yep.
It looks like sassy grass or something out of the Mopar stable.
I was going to say Shrek green, but whatever. Okay. Yeah, the Bronco became a big boy just about this time. Remember the original Generation 1 Broncos. Those were those little trucks. Well, now we're going full size all the way. This one with a 351 and a 4-speed manual and 4-wheel drive.
I watched a lot of people come up to this one in the staging lane. I think that green really does pop. This was an era where they did some fun stuff with the paint, Scott, but this is certainly different.
You know what? Actually, it's funny. I looked it up. This comes with a Deluxe Marty report, and according to Kevin Marty, that is from the factory. Bright emerald paint.
Who would have
Very
thought?
rare, very unusual.
Yeah.
How cool is that? My favorite is I think this might have been the last year built for those circular headlights. Then they went to the rectangular
The
ones.
rectangulars, yeah.
And it does have a lot cooler vibe, I think, with the circular headlights. But that's it. That's a solid ride for summer.
Yeah. Yep. Got the 8-hole alloy wheels on there all the way around.
That's like Mountain Dew green.
Mountain Dew. Yeah, just same color as the can that comes in.
That'd be a great name for that Bronco if you buy it.
Mountain Dew Express.
20,000. They're still working on it.
That Bronco's right there in front of you now. Don't she look pretty? $25,000. 25, sir.
No, you're right about the originality of that paint. One of 62 that were built with that paint.
Right.
So rare, beyond rare.
We got 22. Get 23.
We get 23. You're looking at the reserve.
23. Anybody else? 23.
You want to get 22.5? That does it.
3. That'll work. You got 22.5. Okay. That's 4.5.
Good luck, guys.
You got to be 23 out there.
Got
23. You got
$22,500.
Or Jordy. 23.
We're still chugging away at it.
23. Hey,
There we
reserves
go.
off. 22.5, 23 on the Bronco. I get 22.5, 23. Sir, last call if you want her. 23,000. Anybody else at 23,000?
Smile, you're on TV.
Now 4. Now 24, George. Oh, come on. 24. 23, 24. I get 23, but at 4.
Somebody else jumped in here in the house.
Yeah.
Sir. Get 24.
Late inning lightning.
Handshakes have taken place. 23, 24, down to a bit of that. So $23,000, Jordy.
All right, Jordan Hunter there, right across the red carpet from us. He's got the guy that just bought that Bronco for 23. Back with more from Indy coming up in just a moment. Stay with us live on ESPN+. Welcome back to Indy. Look at our staging lane here as we roll on our live coverage on ESPN+. Very happy to have National Parts Depot again with us in 2025. They've been around for decades with the largest stock of restoration parts in the industry. Right now, time for our NPD preview with Chris Jacobs.
Yes, sir, Scott. Well, here at Indy, you would be hard-pressed to find a more perfectly restored vehicle than this 1970 Camaro Z28, powered by that 350 turbo fire, mated to a Muncie M22 4-speed manual transmission. That is the Rock Crusher, so called due to the noise that it makes during shifting because of its heavier duty gears, riding on the Z28 factory wheels. Of course, that Z28 package contains the heavier duty suspension, heavier duty brakes, the racing stripes, the rear spoiler, and a few more performance oriented goodies. Mulsanne blue over blue, absolutely amazing color combination. And if you want to take your Camaro to this level, well, you need a certain piece of reading material. And with more on that, I will turn it over to Bill Stevens.
Yes, get the book. Some good winter reading if you got a project when the cold weather comes in and you need to start ordering your parts. Hello, that's the book you need, the NPD. And they have a catalog for just about anything out there besides Camaro, so keep your eye open for it.
Yes, and when you hit the order button, that will set everything in motion, and a lot of times you can get your parts to your front door in 3 days or less. So check it out, nationalpartsdepot.com. 1952 Jaguar, Bill Stevens here, an XK120 drop head coupe.
This was a car that had so much influence, believe it or not, on Harley Earl. When he decided they were going to build the Corvette, he said, look at that XK120 and give me something like it. This one, not anywhere near original. It's got, well, talk about irony, a Chevy engine in it. 327 with an automatic transmission. You saw that big aftermarket shifter in there.
But that is the original unaltered body on this car.
It's a Jag, but boy, it's had a lot of surgery underneath the bodywork. And trading for not what you would see an original Jag XK120 drop head coupe sell for. So whoever made those modifications certainly knew that when it was time to sell it, there would not be that same kind of interest as an original XK120 as we've seen any number of times.
Internet 27. 26,000. You're going to get 27,000. I have 26 and now 7 bid. You're going to get 27. Close the bid at 26,000. Close the bid. The bid goes on.
All right, so a little bit of work yet to do at $26,000. So four-wheel drive 76 Chevy K20 is on hand next.
Yeah, the pickups, they just keep on coming. Each and every one of them a little different than the one before. This one with a 396 big block here in Big Blocktober, sourced from a 66 Chevelle SS. And it's had some work done to it. Changed the crankshaft in it, roller valve train. transmission's a 4-speed manual transmission from Bulldog. And the Auburndale Auto and Marine guys in that shop did the engine rebuild. New clutch, flywheel, pressure plate. A lot of money invested into this truck. There's the interior. Pretty much left that alone.
At 26,000.
And it's got a lift kit in
At
it.
25 bid, you're gonna get 26,000.
Jacked up over those 16-inch American Racing Outlaw aluminum wheels.
Hey, that's a good look.
Yes, it
Not
is.
too much.
Mm-hmm. I have 26.
Long bed, short cap.
26, 7, 8, 28,
I'd sell it.
27,
It ain't your
28.
truck.
I have 27,000,
Sell it.
9.
Okay, we're all set here. 28,000. The reserve is off.
At 29,000, you're going to give 8 to bid, you're going to get 9 bid, you're going to get 29 internet. Do you want to give $29,000 for it? I have 28,000, you're going to get 29,000. So, $28,000. Next round. So.
All right, Nick's man right there has, on the other end of that phone, in fact, has just bought that pickup truck. Well, we've seen a number of Corvettes here, as per usual. Haven't seen a 59, however, until just right now, I don't think.
Yeah, and have we seen any Corvettes with the original engine in them? We've seen some engine swaps on some of them.
Right.
And this is another one. It's got a 350 in it with a 4-speed. That is the correct color for the outside, that Roman red with the white coves. White soft top is hiding underneath that deck behind the driver.
Now 55, 55, 50's bid.
Wonder Bar radio. Yeah, we've talked about that. Those Wonder Bar radios, just you hit that little Wonder Bar and you get that seek and scan feature in there.
5 different engine options in
Yes.
1959, but they're all 283Q.
Correct. We didn't see the 327 till 62, but we had the 4-barrel. We had a couple of fuel-injected versions.
That's a sweetie. 50,000 bucks though is going to be short of the mark. And heavily modified Blazer is being pushed into position right behind it. Look at this, a total custom build on this 71 K5.
Quick, find me a monster truck event. Yow. 383 stroker for power.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's got enough power under there. You got to look at it right there. Not a whole lot of time went into dressing up the engine room. There you go, open element air cleaner, and everything else is as is. 4-wheel drive, of course. Suspension from Rough Country. You like this?
This is cool. Yeah, you know, I've got a 72 at home. I did a little different style. This is kind of like that. We could go to the mud bog, right? When you've got the big super swampers on there, it has such a visual presence, but it also, like, you know, riding around in there, it's going to be a real treat. You're going to be bumping around for sure. But the interior is beautiful on here. It's a great color under the lights too. I think it is sold with the soft top included, which is cool.
Right.
Sometimes we see ones that become sort of permanent convertibles. But this one, you still got it. So.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was looking at that, wondering if there was a top included, but this.
Oh yeah, you can see it. It's actually folded down right there behind the back seat, and yeah, nice color choices they use on the interior.
Make sure you got everything strapped in the back end if you go over a speed bump in that deal.
Oh, congratulations!
Okay, 35,000. They're going to take that K5 Blazer home.
Welcome back. We are in the on-deck spot here, and take a look at this beautiful 1985 Toyota Celica GTS convertible. Guys, there's only 1,399 miles showing on this car. Look right here. It's all of the details, all of that original rubber gasket. When you look inside, this interior truly is brand new. You can even see they've got that hand pump there for the lumbar, for the power, the seats and the driver's seat, excuse me, that lumbar, the top brand new. It's as if this thing has just been sitting in mothballs perfectly, because so many of us who know and love these cars remember the bumpers get a little bit flaky in the sun, they crust up. This thing is brand new, has that 22 RE 4-cylinder that so many people know and love. It is an automatic transmission. It's got the 14-inch baby Supra wheels we call on there. But guys, this is a car that is really going to make somebody real happy. And our friend Wilfredo that's shooting that, he said this is the car that all the rich kids drove, and his high school.
Well, it is on the block, and we're going to be talking about it here in just a second. By the way, while Rutledge was talking about the Toyota, 50 grand for this 32 Ford Street Rod, Bill.
Oh, yeah. Pro built 406 Chevy small block, 700R4, 4-speed automatic. Great paintwork and detail. Look at those chrome 5-spoke American mags.
Ooh, you know, when I look at this GTS here, Rutledge, it's almost like you're going back in time because the car is perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of vintage Toyotas in good shape. Being a Toyota ambassador, you know, I love these things. But this reminds me of the Toyota Grand Prix in Long Beach.
Oh, yeah.
When Tony Danza, I think, won in one of the hatchback versions of this car. But this really, to me, again, it has those pop-up headlights. It's just so perfectly 80s, and this one really well preserved.
You know what my gripe is with these cars?
Uh-oh.
They made a fastback version, too.
Sure.
Those wheel flares give that such a muscular look. Those cars needed more horsepower.
It needed the inline 6, I agree, from the Celica Supra of that era. That would have been really great. The I think that was the 5M inline 6. Great motor, but you're right.
Or you could lose the flares. That would...
No, I love the flares. I just want more motor.
Well, you say that about every car.
Well, I guess.
$28,000. They're still working on it. I don't know if they're how close they are or not. Wow, $28,000. Rutledge, what do you think?
That's beautiful. I wish it was mine. I'm just trying to sit quietly over it. You know, sometimes the cars that you really want, you're like, just be cool. Don't lift your arms. No sudden movements.
Yeah. You mentioned the Toyota Grand Prix. I called that race for ESPN the year that Jamie Little won. Do you remember that finish with Mike Skinner?
That was incredible. Jamie still, you know, I'm lucky enough to keep racing with Toyota. I'm lucky that Jamie's not in the race. I know she would stomp me.
Oh, she is the real
I was
thing.
like, the reason I won the Toyota Grand Prix in Long Beach was because the Pro Celebrity race is because Jamie was not in it.
Yeah.
Be certain.
She can do it.
69 Chevelle is up next. Whoa, what an engine room that thing is sporting for us.
Oh,
and
God,
a current bid of $50K.
Oh, that's an understatement. That is a GM Performance 427 crate motor. And I'm going to guess that's close to 500 horsepower. Aluminum cylinder heads on there and a Tremec 5-speed, a 12-bolt rear end. What a street machine. And again, this is one of those masquerading muscle cars where you can't really fathom what it's got for horsepower. Looking at the outside of it, you're thinking, oh, it's probably 396, might be an L78, 375 horse, you know,
Those SS badges have been added. That's the only thing that kind of helps you along.
Yeah, to maybe figure out there's more in there than meets the eye.
Yeah, 390. What JK always say, never trust a badge.
Well, sometimes you can, but most of the
Sometimes,
time you've got to be careful.
$57,000.
Yeah, that's a sweet car, man.
Red is never a bad idea.
Close bid at
Nope.
$55,000 in the bid.
There it is.
Now
Going
offering us
to need more than 55 to buy that Chevelle. Okay, 65 GTO from our friends at Pontiac.
I think this is the way we would all want our 65 GTOs. You've got the red paint, the red line tires, but you've got the Tri-Power 389 with 360 horsepower and the close ratio 4-speed and 390 positive traction. Ain't nothing else you need, boy, to just be loving life with that GTO.
37. I have 35.
Got the ride handling package as well. And the PHS, Pontiac Historic Services documentation.
36.
You know, that's Pontiac's equivalent to the Marty report.
37,000. You would get 6
Splitter exhaust.
I have $36,000 bin. You would get 70. You would get 70. You would get 7.
Transistor
Anybody
ignition.
else?
Power
Got
steering
37.
brakes.
Now 38.
Yep.
Got 37.
If I was back in 1965 sitting at the Pontiac dealer and ordering my GTO, that'd be pretty close to what I'd be buying.
And 37, 38,000. You would get paid. You would get 37, 38. I have 37 bid. You would get
See what it's going to take for somebody to buy it today.
Yeah. Going to take more.
Reserve is on.
Hello.
37.
Oh, thank you. Motivated consigner.
8.
Yep.
9.
And now let's see what
39,
happens.
38. 39. $38,000 bid. $39,000 sells all the way. 38's the bid. Anybody give 39? So $38,000. You'll be able to get your carnival.
And 38, well, you were right. It's going to take more, $1,000 more. Did the deal, but still, that's well bought, I think.
I agree. Another $2,000, $3,000, or $4,000, and you still wouldn't be overpaying for that car.
Hey, it's time for us to check in again over in the 303 staging lane. Danielle Trotta standing by there for us right now.
Yeah, with a really special 2020 Ford Shelby GT 350 Heritage Edition, Scott. And this one specifically very special. One of only 281 Heritage Editions that were produced in the year 2020, which was the last time that this was produced. So what does Heritage Edition mean? Well, let's tell you a little bit about what that package entails. It's the special appearance, the packaging that pays tribute to the original 1965 Shelby GT 350. Part of that, exclusive Wimbledon white exterior paint. Also, you see the Guardsman blue racing stripes along the side, roof, front, and rear of the car. Also, you're getting the same colors used with the unique red stitching. Aaron, help me take a look inside here, and you can see it. This unique red stitching is part of the Heritage Edition package. It's also on the seats, the steering wheel, and the dash itself. No changes under the hood. Still V8, 526 horsepower. Guys, this is beautiful, rare, and maybe the best part, Scott Hoke, no reserve. It is coming your way soon.
Oh, love it. I know you do too, Bill.
Well, Danielle, I don't want you to drive that car because if you do, it will rip your face off, and that's one of your more endearing qualities.
My goodness, you woke up and chose violence today, Bill. I definitely don't want that to happen.
Stay out of that. That is a savage car.
Oh, never trust a badge, but always trust Bill.
Well,
the
I don't know
Danielle
about
said
that.
you woke up and chose violence.
Okay, check this out. Here is a 2010 Camaro convertible.
Yeah, you've probably seen these, Rutledge. These are built by Gearhead Street Customs out of right here in Indianapolis. And basically, it's a Camaro that's been given the Trans Am treatment.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I always like when people kind of reimagine something that we know so singularly. And a lot of people obviously wish Pontiac was still around when they brought the Camaro back on the Chevy side. So I think this one's kind of a cool mix-up of the two. This one's a little different. It's got a little different style wheels than some of the other ones we've seen. But it certainly makes a lot of interest out here.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of power. 550 horse out of a 6.2. And it's supercharged with a Magna Charger setup.
And it just brought $47,000. Check out this next car.
Oh, you got your shades on.
A 69 GTO.
Yeah, well, I guess it's all about that exterior treatment that kind of reminds you of those bare aluminum continuation Cobras that Shelby is and has been building for a while. We've seen a couple of those. But this is a real 69 GTO convertible, 400 cubic inch engine, 350 horse, and that is a wrap, chrome wrap. Yep. Underneath there, the original exterior color was limelight green. Not that that matters anymore. We'll probably never see that again.
And guys, for people that don't know, a vinyl wrap on a car, let's pretend is a certain amount. Let's just pick out of the sky. Let's say it's $3,000 to have it professionally done. When you look at one of these chrome illusion wraps, it's usually 2 or 2.5 times that on average to get one. So they also spend a ton of money to get that chrome look.
Yeah.
But you know, it's such a cool thing unless you're next to it and the sun is out, and then suddenly you realize why we don't have more chrome-looking cars.
Yeah, true. It's well done, that's for sure. And it just sold for $33,000 at no reserve.
Which is market correct for an original GTO convertible in that condition.
Yeah, that thing's cool. Somebody's gonna love that.
Yeah. Geez, the only rap I know is doom, doom, ch, doom, doom, ch.
Hey, careful.
Look at you. You go, Bill.
I got it, man. I'm kicking some bad flavor here.
Oh, I don't even know how to follow that.
Let's just put that on a T-shirt.
1972 Mustang convertible next.
Yeah, we got a shot at this yesterday with our NPD preview. 302 V8 and a rotisserie restoration has been performed on this car. 4-speed manual, grabber blue. Color we'll never forget, boy. We love seeing that on so many of these high-performance Fords. Seen them on Boss 429, Mach 1s, right down the line.
I mean, it really does pop with that white interior and the white top on here, Bill. It looks great.
It does, yep. A lot of eyeball. Magnum 500 wheels, raised white letter BF Goodrich. And good money, strong money, mid-40s.
I have $46,000 bid. You're going to get 7 bid. You're going to get 47.
All right, all good. Hey, I appreciate it. And it looks
All right,
like you just sold
46 will end up being the number on that next to last year of the Ford Mustang. Beautiful car, 46. And pulling up in position next is 79 Trans Am SE. We've had kind of a flurry of these this weekend, probably half a dozen, I'm going to guess, of these
yes.
SEs.
I predict some spirited bidding for this car. It's one of 1,107 Trans Am SE models. 79, and remember, this was the swan song for the 400 Cube, which this one has, with the 4-speed and the WS6 performance package and the W72 performance package. And of course, that unforgettable black and gold exterior with the snowflake wheels.
47. I have 45 bid.
Close to $50,000. Won't get there if the hammer comes down right now.
46. Sold $45,000. Proxy sold. Now I'll bring in.
Well, selling at no reserve, $45,000. And a proxy bid, we hear. So somebody's going to have that arrive at their doorstep pretty soon.
Yeah, boy, that is hemorrhaging originality, isn't it?
Sure is. And a 2009 Pontiac Solstice GXP. These are hot little cars.
Yeah, well, the turbo version, this one, yes, 260 horse, as the sun was setting on Pontiac. Oh boy, I remember it well. When they announced it was going away, Pontiac was building excitement 20 years earlier, and that was the end of the line. This one with the turbocharged 2-liter. The non-turbo engine is kind of a little bit of a wimp, to be honest with you. When they put the turbo on it, it really changed the game for these cars. Automatic transmission, you get a manual too in these. Victory red, black interior, and some extra cost options, AM, FM, CD, Bluetooth, and AC.
These are cool cars. They really, I think they found a group that really appreciate them, people that love to drive them. You know, they certainly have had some support on the motorsport side when they were first new, but cool little rides.
Yeah, and of course the Saturn Sky was the Saturn version of these cars.
Hammer price, no reserve, $23,000. And a 2015 Challenger SRT Hellcat, instant collectible.
Might this be our top seller today? Let's stand by. This only has 569 miles on the odometer. And of course, the Hellcat, we're so familiar with these. This was the debut year, 707 horsepower out of the blown 6.2-liter Hemi, 8-speed automatic transmission. Yeah, you get a 6-speed manual too, but that torque flight, I tell you, that give you all the performance you want. Sublime green outside, black inside, with a leather trim. And these were the IT car from Chrysler back in 2015.
In a lot of circles, they really still are. You know, it's a car that is so desired by so many people. And I think they did such a good job of bringing some of those retro colors back. You know, sometimes it would be for a special edition, sometimes more mainstays. But, boy, they're a beloved car, that's for sure, especially by everyone that owns a gas station.
Exactly.
They love to see those Hellcats pull in.
So, 52,000.
Nice job. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
Now offering us 81 in 1993.
All right, $52,000. Not going to be our top seller for the day, but still a sale here and a good one. And we'll take a break. When we come back, check this out. A 57 Chevy pickup truck. Right behind it is a beautiful 59 El Camino that we will feast our eyes upon. And lastly, in this run, a 2020 GT350R coming up. Well, you can take a look at some of the cars and trucks coming up. That 65 Jeep will be up here in a little while. Thunderbirds, more pickup trucks, Bel Airs, and more. That's your GTO, yeah?
Yeah, there it is, coming soon.
All right, we welcome you back to Indy here on ESPN+. Scott Hoke with Bill Stevens, Chris Jacobs, Danielle Trotta, Rutledge Wood. There we are on social media. Glad to have you with us live on this Saturday at the Indy Fall Special. And we lead off a new segment with actually 2018 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450.
The ultimate SUV. Boy, if you want performance and you want the versatility of an SUV, you can't go wrong here. This one, 7 years old, but you never know it. It's got that twin turbo 3-liter V6 with 362 horsepower. We've seen that engine in SL classes and practically all across the Mercedes line. 9-speed automatic transmission and all of the creature comforts, luxury, and pampering that any owner could want. I'm just a big fan of these big trucks. They're something else.
And not big money here.
No.
For a 7-year-old car, just $8,500 at the moment.
You're gonna get it.
I mean, it's loaded, yeah.
Look at that. $8,500 is it.
Oh, you will be the star of the neighborhood with that.
All right, here, speaking of star of the neighborhood, in any neighborhood, you might be with this 2023 Challenger SRT Demon 170.
With 14 miles on the odometer. Chris was snooping around this a little earlier, I believe. 1,025 horsepower. We're all familiar with the story here. Boy, Chrysler really pulled out all the stops as the Hemi was being discontinued, and that whole business plan at Stellantis changed, and now we're hearing rumors that, well, maybe there'll be a mid-course correction, but in the meantime, this was the ultimate Mopar muscle car back in 2023. This one with the 8-speed automatic. They couldn't put a manual in these things. Had to go with the automatic just to keep them from spreading the transmission all over Main Street. But wow, these are loaded with so many creature comforts and performance features as well. Air grabber hood. It's got that after-run chiller to cool everything down after you've had a little fun with it.
That's pitch black, red interior.
Comes with a car cover.
14 miles in a car. 130, 135, 135. You're out 140, 140. Internet's in, floor is out. 135, 40, 140 pound out of 140, 130 pound about 145, 145, 145, 140, 145, 140, 140.
Who would have believed that the day would come that you could buy a car from any dealer, go to a drag strip, and without doing anything to it whatsoever, maybe putting on a set of grippier tires, you run an 8-second quarter mile. Just was beyond belief not that long ago.
155 pounds in our bed. 155, higher negative to 155, 155 pounds in our
And perhaps getting the front wheels off the ground.
Yeah, a little bit of a wheel stand. That puts on a little bit of a show for the folks.
160 pounds.
155, slowly creeping up the ladder. We got to be getting close here soon, I would think.
Yeah.
Scott, I got to tell you, this is very encouraging for the SRT market to see this car going at this price.
160 is what we have. We're selling it, right?
165, last call. 160 pounds and 160.
Isn't that what he told us?
Anybody else? 160 pounds and under. 165 pounds and under there. 165.
160 is what we have. We'll lift the reserve. That's what you originally told me.
I know.
Huh?
I know.
Okay, there we go. 160. The reserve is off.
160. 165 pounds and dollars. Ryan going back in. 165. I'm waiting. 165. I'm not going anywhere. 165. 160 pounds. I'm here all day.
I can tell you right now, Scott, for a non-carbon fiber wheel, non-sunroof D170, this is a very, very strong price, especially what we've seen at the last 4 or 5 Mecum auctions.
Through that, Chris Jacobs, and it just hammered for $160,000, and that puts it at the top of the list of our cars here in Indy this
now we got to go
October.
get a 55-gallon drum of ethanol and make sure we get all the horsepower out of that car.
There you go. $160,000. D170. Okay, in 1957 Chevy 3100 pickup truck.
Well, you might have anticipated this, Scott, because the exterior of this truck, look at that polyurethane red paint job and the detailing under the hood. And you're probably thinking, how does that underside look? Does that measure up to everything else we're seeing? Look at that. You can just see just how many man hours went into the assembly and the detailing the underside of this truck. I mean, suspension, the rear end, drive shaft, and the U-joints look like they've never spun. Yep, you see the suspension struts, everything, the joints, you name it. Beautiful presentation. Power comes from a 350, that GM Performance Ramjet fuel-injected 350. That's one of those plug-and-play, just drop it in and you're ready for action. 700 R4 automatic. And it is showtime.
Boy, oh boy, is it ever. 65,000. I don't know if you caught it or not at home. Kind of that washboard look on the tailgate that has been made into the Chevy bow tie logo. I thought that was kind of a cool touch.
It is.
On the rear of this pickup truck.
Those stamped louvers that kind of did that. It's cool vibe.
And so the bid goes on, as we mentioned, and the 59 El Camino that we also gave you a sneak peek at going to the last break, that's up now.
I really dig the engine choice. It's a 409. Of course, that wasn't available until 1961. But a 348 was available in 1959. And, of course, the 348 evolved into the 409. But this one with the Edelbrock aluminum heads, an intake, an Edelbrock carburetor, Isky camshaft, hydraulic roller lifters, Tremec 5-speed, Ford 9-inch rear end, and underneath, oh, the goodies continue. Look, there's that X-frame we talked about earlier, beautiful stainless exhaust. Bottom of that engine just as immaculate as the top.
You know what's wild is that actually has a really nice Reese trailer hitch setup underneath the back. And I kind of thought about it for a second. I thought, why would you put a trailer hitch on here? And then I thought, you know what? This would be the perfect thing to pull a vintage teardrop trailer behind.
Yeah, right.
Really go see the country, have a little fun. That totally makes sense.
Perfect match.
I don't know if I'd tow a boat with it.
Yeah, well,
you could.
You would get some attention towing anything with that.
That's for
El
sure.
Camino. But that 409, by the way, started life as the dual quad 425. It has 425 horsepower, I'll bet you, but not the dual quads. All the other speed equipment that's been added is going to bring it right up there.
Wow, that was a gorgeous ride.
Okay, 56 grand buys that El Camino with the 2020 GT350R Heritage Edition right behind it. That's the one that is this the one you were talking about that Danielle didn't want to drive?
Yeah, these cars just racetrack animals. I mean, I remember when these cars were released, every single magazine that tested these cars said, man, you better bring your A game if you want to get all the potential out of these automobiles. 526 horsepower Voodoo flat plane crank engine, Tremec 6-speed, I mean, race-ready suspension and brakes, carbon fiber rear wing, And you know what? You can just blow your brains out with a sound system in here. Bang & Olufsen 12-speaker sound system. On and on and on. This one optioned to the max. But it's what this car will do when you put your right foot down. That's the big story.
Thank you. Now 100. Now 100. Now 100,000.
Harkening back to the original GT350R model back in 1965 that won 3 SCCA B production championships. And the legend lives on.
Man. Tell you what, so many people these days throw the I word around, iconic. They throw that at anything. A cup of coffee is
overused.
No, a cup of coffee is not iconic.
No.
I'm sorry. But that original GT350R certainly is. $92,000. Buys that car here at no reserve. Right now, before we go any further, it is time to call on Chris Jacobs once again for today's installment of our Stable Performance Tip.
Well, Scott, in the collector car world, one thing will not be tolerated or accepted, and that is rust. And Stable agrees, which is why they make this great product, Rust Stopper. Prevents rust from spreading, prevents new rust from forming. It's an all-around great way to preserve your classic car. And here is a great one right here, 1970 Dodge Charger U-Code. That is the high-performance 440, made it to the 727 TorqueFlate transmission. This is beautifully done in dark burnt orange metallic over a matching interior. Get a load of that. So unique, so perfect. Magnum 500 wheels wrapped up in the Firestone wide O ovals. What a great, great piece of Mopar muscle this is. This has been decoded by Galen Govier, so you know everything is legit on that fender tag. This is a real deal U-Code 1970 Dodge Charger, and it's coming across the block very soon, Scott.
You got it, Chris. Thank you. StableMecum.com is always your internet headquarters for all things Stable.
That Rust Stopper is a little late for that pickup that sold for $1,000 yesterday.
True. Good
little
point.
late, a little bit late.
Hey, we are just a little bit late to catch up with this Biscayne, but that's okay. The current bid 23.5 on this 58 post Biscayne.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we were just talking about the 348 just a few minutes ago, and here it is again. This one with a tri-power setup, about 280 horsepower, 3-speed automatic. And lots of customization throughout. Interior, wheels, suspension has been lowered. 4-wheel power disc brakes and slotted rotors.
Yeah, this is one I found out in the staging lanes earlier. I mean, it is on the ground. This thing is low. Those wheels are a nice choice. Interior's really pretty on that car.
Cool. 24.5 buys it. You're going to love this next pickup truck, everybody. 72 Chevy K10. Complete frame-off restoration, short bed, uncut frame, 3-speed with factory air.
Yeah, the correct engine's a 350 small block. Positive traction rear end. It is a 4-wheel drive because of the K designation. So the rear end has posi, and the front differential is an open differential. No posi there. Rally wheels with new rubber. And the current bid, $30,000.
Yeah, that's a sharp setup. Again, they didn't go too wild. It's not too mild. It's kind of just in between. They've got a wider set of rally-style wheels on there with those beauty rings. And, you know, again, sometimes we'll see these with super aggressive tires, not so much. But I think that one's all around a nice truck setup right there.
Yeah, did you ever have one of those trucks with aggressive tires pass you on the highway?
No, you don't, because all you hear is wah.
That's all you're going to hear. Turn up the radio.
Well, the bid goes on that pickup truck. We will take a quick time out here, resume our coverage in the 1 o'clock Eastern Time hour on ESPN+. Back with more in a moment. Terrific crowd here in Indy at the fairgrounds. Folks watching these cars come into the building and make their way to the auction block. And we are having a blast bringing it to you. 1956 Harley-Davidson Serva car. is up for auction right now. The reserve is off on this motorcycle. Bill Stevens, $30,000 is the bid.
We had an ice cream man back in the day that had one of those.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, going around the neighborhood selling fudgicles and hoodsies and everything out of the bag. Yeah, this.
Go ahead.
This is a rare piece. I mean, have we ever had one of these, Scott? You do the motorcycle auctions.
Yeah.
Yeah. 45 cubic inch V twin. Rebuilt 3-speed manual gearbox. Looks like everything on that's been rebuilt.
Yeah, this is a high-end restoration, and it just brought $33,000. We see them in all different levels of restoration, some very original and some not so much. So that Cervicar does really well today, $33,000. 1966 Chevy 2 Nova Real Deal Super Sport now.
Yeah, it is, and it's that 2-year only body style for the Nova, 66 and 67. Simple story, you just saw the engine, small block, 327, with a power glide. Bucket seats, as the Super Sports had, the console, and the shifter right there. Like I say, pretty simple story here. Those are those mag-style hubcaps that JK and I used to argue about all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, not a big favorite of mine, but he loved them. And the red line tires, which we all really dig.
You could put red line tires on that Cervicar, and it would have been great.
It would have lifted it right up.
Well, this one travels for $30,000.
Yep, I would say market correct for that.
And behind the Chevy 2 is a K5 Blazer Silverado from 1986.
Riding high, way up there with a lift kit. 350 V8, automatic, 4-wheel drive, of course. Power steering and brakes, air, loaded. Tilt steering columns, got cruise in it. Power windows and locks. That hardtop is removable. And you know what my brother-in-law always says.
Yes, all hardtops are removable.
All tops are removable. U.S. Mags. Oh, cherried right out. Looking great on that car. That's like almost a sort of Daytona bluish.
Yeah, it is. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know what the GM name for it is, but kind of has that look.
33, 32, 33. Thank you, George. 32 pound out of 33 pound out of bed. 32 pound out of 33 pounds and down negative 3 to bed. 32, 33.
Last call, you gotta let me know yes or no.
Okay, 32. That's good. 33. You sure?
He's out.
33 pounds and dollars in that last call.
Hey, I appreciate
Now,
it.
with that rough country lift kit, you're going to need that step that you see right there to mound up.
Everybody, what do we
Yes, sir. And at no reserve, that one brings $32,000 and sets the stage for this 1969 Pontiac GTO. I mean, this is the one that Bill previewed at the beginning of the program, and my first thought is, wow, somebody really resisted the temptation to turn this into a Judge, didn't they?
Yeah, and when they ordered it, they did not go Ram Air. So this is the standard 400. You're right. They wanted this as original and straight and pretty much as base as you could get for a GTO convertible in the 69. Has the automatic transmission, buckets in the console there. And the hood-mounted tack, which is kind of an interesting choice on a car that really is kind of like the bottom of the performance food chain for the GTO in 69. Rally 2 wheels. And you can look this up in the PHS documentation that comes with it.
47 pounds and dollars.
Hey, $41,000. That's your hammer price on that 1969 GTO convertible. Very nice. We will come back and resume our coverage live on ESPN Plus in just a moment. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Indianapolis for the final day of the Indy Fall Special. Great to have you guys with us here live on ESPN Plus. Some pretty sweet, we think, six-figure cars are headed to the block in just a moment. We're going to preview them all now in succession, starting with the one that Chris Jacobs talked about a moment ago, 1970 Dodge Charger RT, that beautiful dark burnt orange metallic paint and 375 horsepower V8 engine. She's fast and she's beautiful. Chris Jacobs, what else do you want to show us?
Well, from dark burnt orange metallic to a beautiful two-tone cream over copper 1957 Nomad. This is a show car all the way, powered by a V8, 283 under the hood, automatic transmission, tilt steering column. It's going to get a lot of attention when it crosses the auction block. And what do you got, my friend, Rutledge Wood?
Boy, speaking of attention, how about a 1972 K5 Blazer with a one-year-only Highland interior 350 car restored back to original style? This thing is going to bring a lot of eyeballs and a lot of money, I think, Bill.
Oh, the C8 is great. This one, a 2024 Z06, 670 horsepower, 5.5-liter flat plane crank V8. Also, 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission and the top trim level, 3LT. All the toys for girls and boys, and it's coming up soon.
As is this. It's Big Blocktober. You know that. 53 Chevy 3100, 5-window pickup. Yes, indeed. Speaking of big blocks, there it is. GM Performance crate motor in between the fenders. Total frame-off restoration. And that rare 5-window model as well. Vintage air included. All 5 of these cars are going to be coming up in succession as we roll on here a little bit later in our telecast today on ESPN Plus. Cannot wait.
Oh boy, strap yourselves in.
We are approaching the halfway mark in our program today. 1:30 would be the exact midpoint of the show. 78 FJ43 Land Cruiser is being pushed off the block, $27,000. That will be the high bid on this 78 Toyota. And a 1986 Buick Grand National will be next.
Yep, Chris gave us a little Cook's tour of this automobile earlier, 1986, 1987. Probably the 2 most popular years for the Grand National. And of course, these cars evolved out of the Turbo Regals that came several years prior to this, and then the high water mark, of course, the 1987 GNX. So quite a history of these automobiles in terms of their performance, but the big story on this one, 8 miles showing on the odometer and first registered only 6 months ago.
Well, you know, I'm surprised actually, Bill, because it says 8 miles on the consignment sheet. The odometer now reads 9 miles. So they actually sacrificed a mile moving this car around. But man, look at the price right now at $100,000 for an 86 Grand National.
Right. Not the 87, not the GNX, and this one is going to sell.
It is indeed. The reserve is off.
A true time capsule if there ever was one, and I was giving it a very good looking over. The paint is perfect, the wheels are perfect, all of the rubber and the moldings are perfect, being reflected in that price. Only problem is you can't drive this car.
No, don't do it. No.
$105,000. And I think that's Thomas behind the wheel, my friend Thomas, who's a young kid, really enthusiastic car guy, and he is having a blast.
Yeah, you know, we've said it any number of times. The mileage and value are inversely proportional. The lower the mileage, the higher the money.
Right. And there are some cars where that holds true much
much more regularly
than
you might see on others.
Yeah. Okay, 1954 Corvette. I think this was on display in one of the State Farm areas.
It was indeed. Yeah, it was a State Farm feature car. And, you know, as I said in my preview, very few ways to tell the difference between a 53, which is the first year, and the 54. The one obvious one are the exhaust pipes, which extend out just a little bit further so it stays away from staining the paint. But also the 54s had beige tops versus the black tops for the 53. This one, I lifted up the tonneau. It's actually got a red top.
Really?
So in true State Farm tradition. Now, obviously, that's been changed out. But
Sure.
yeah, a red top on this 54.
Well, $45,000 the bid goes on. If you're looking for a bargain, C1, Bill, 1954 is where you might want to start.
Right, yeah, they're trading regularly much lower than the 53s.
Okay, we move to 1962 Catalina now.
Oh boy, yep, 62 Pontiac's near and dear to my heart, one of my first cars. 62 Bonneville convertible, but this one is the Catalina with a fixed roof, 325 horsepower, 389 with tri-power, and the automatic transmission is a 204R, which of course would not have come in the car originally. Aquamarine is the color. It's got AC, power here, power there, window seats, steering and brakes, and the 8 lug wheels.
When I previewed this car yesterday, Bill, I noted how clean this car is and how good of a restoration it is. It makes sense that the same shop that curated this car did our NPD car from today, that 70 Camaro Z28, which was equally clean and well restored.
Well, we're not going to sell this one, and I would have to agree that 35 is a little bit too short for that.
Okay, pickup truck that if you were watching at the beginning of the program or a little bit earlier today, you might have seen this 1970 Total Custom C10. That is a Bentley exterior color called Magnolia White, Bill, but it's got modern power too.
Yeah, and the color of that interior is called root beer.
Lunchtime.
Yeah, I love root beer. I can't get into everything that's been done to this truck. This is one of those customs where there's not a single nut or bolt or any component on this truck that has not either been replaced or refurbished or rebuilt. And it's quite a testament to the builder. Look at that engine, LS3 V8 there. Look at the detailing, so clean. The fender well, firewall, the total surrounding area is devoid of anything, which gives it such a clean look.
That Corvette style quad exhaust coming out in the middle of the rear valance. What a great look that is.
And Chris, those look like Dave Kindig's door handles on there.
I believe they are. That may be on the consignment sheet, but just from eyeballing those are definitely, if they're not exactly Dave Kindig's,
they're real close.
They're Kindig-esque.
Yeah, that's for sure. Just so clean when you take a look at this one, Bill. Just how they made a few choices here and there to smooth the body. But boy, brilliantly done.
Yeah, the car cover is sitting in the back in the bed, and it's partially covering up the bird's eye maple floor that they installed in this truck. Sound system, wow.
That bird's eye maple is a little bougie.
Yeah, it is.
For a 70 C10.
Yeah. Very Luxo, as we like to say.
Right.
Budnick wheels, Willwood disc brakes, as you might anticipate. Stainless steel fuel tank, exhaust system.
Close to 120, close to $120,000.
We'll send it to bid goes on for you. And
Now
see
entering
it.
Wow.
F103 is 65.
Good bidding, 120,000, but
Well,
consigners are going to hang on to it, and I don't blame them.
200 plus to just build it.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, 1966 award-winning GTO convertible, 360 horse, 389, 4-speed, and much more. We'll take a look at it live next. Well, Indy is the place to be this weekend if you're into muscle and collector cars, no doubt about it. Happy to have you on board with us now into the second half of our program today on ESPN Plus. That little Thunderbird I believe went to bid goes on. And so next on our block, another first-gen Corvette. 1961 this time around, Bill.
With the correct engine. What are the odds?
Yes.
Yes. We've seen so many engine swaps now in these C1 Corvettes, but this one has the correct dual quad 283, 270 horsepower. And of course, that was the final year for that dual quad setup, 1962. Long gone. Great restoration on this. Has the 4-speed with it with a positive traction, which debuted 1957. Wonderbar radio, we explained that earlier. Wide white ball tires. and well maintained. Don't know how old that restoration is, but that car looks like it could have been finished this morning.
Roman red, white coves, high bid $62,000. And a 1957 Fairlane 500 Skyliner with the F code engine, Bill Stevens. That's significant.
Well, we don't normally see the F code on anything. That was available on the Thunderbird. That's that supercharged version that pops up every now and then. But here it is in the full-size Ford. Yeah, it was available that year. You could do it. And the restoration, well, speaks for itself. 2014 Concorde Elegance Award winner at the French Lick Resort. That big show up there. Automatic transmission. 19 F-code supercharged Skyliners are thought to still exist. Man, the top is down. Thank you. Yeah, back in 1957, you could get the E-Bird. That was the dual quad 312 in the Thunderbird. And of course, the F code is the supercharged engine seeing here.
And 90 grand is not going to be enough on that Skyliner. So the bid goes on. And right behind it, yes, indeed, that GTO that we previewed and teased for you prior to the last break. And I mentioned an award winner.
Yeah, 11 years ago, GTOAA National Concours Award winner, and it has won other awards as well. Date code correct 389, so it's not numbers matching, but it is the correct time period 389. That's the 360 horsepower tri-power version. M21 wide ratio 4-speed, 355 rear end with safety track differential. That's Pontiac's name for the posit traction. Montero red parchment interior. And a PHS window sticker that's been signed by Mr. GTO Jim Wangers, the late great Jim Wangers, who was so responsible for helping the marketing and the promotion of the GTO in its early years, and he became a die-hard GTO lover the rest of his life.
Oh, was he ever?
Tilt steering column, one of the options on this GTO. The Rally 1 wheels and the red line tires. And the consignor decided not to put the top down on this converter.
68 in his pocket, or he can't sell it.
67 sir, 68,000 a bid. I'm gonna bid of a 7 down. I'm gonna bid of a 16 bid, and I'm gonna bid of a 7. Gonna bid of an 8 down paid. I'm gonna bid of a 16 bid down 70 bid.
Now we're in a neighborhood right now where I would say that it would have to take a very motivated consignor to let the car go, because I think we could all remember that we have seen cars with high reserves sell for significantly less because
we're going back to last car. We come to the conclusion the
And there you go. Well, you said it. And on cue, that reserve comes off at 67.
$16,000 on the GTO. 67. Here to us at $68,000 and 9.5. Sold at 67.
Congratulations. Well, there we go. I think that gentleman is going to be very happy, especially at that number.
Many, many happy miles of high-performance motoring in his future.
Speaking of 67, here is a 1967 Olds 442.
Yeah, the Oldsmobile 442 became its own model the following year in 68, so we're still just ahead of that. The 400 cubic inch V8's been rebuilt. It does have the 4-speed, and it does have the look. Black outside and inside. Put some custom wheels on there as well. Nice job cleaning up the engine room there. Not a lot of exterior bright work on it. It looks very well detailed. Five-spoke American torque thrust tubes. Those are deep dish too. They got a little bit of an offset on them, as you can see. Fourth year for the 442, debuted in 1964, and helped the GTO to establish a whole new category, the muscle car.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So 32 is the top number there. And boy, we've had a preponderance of first-generation Corvettes at this event. Bill Stevens, and specifically 1962s. I think this is the fourth or fifth that I can count today and yesterday.
Even the Roman red colors popping up pretty steadily.
Exactly.
Yeah. This one with a red interior, and this one of the truly great small block engines that found their way into several years of the Corvette, the 327 340 horse V8. That was a very powerful, solid lifter, winding engine. They're going to really get on up. 4-speed manual transmission. How about this? Power windows in a C1 Corvette. Less than 1,000 of those were built. Yeah. Wonderbar radio. 15-inch steel wheels. The original cars, they weren't toting 15-inch wheels, so they upsized them on this one. And 50 is not going to get us to the goal line.
Nope, it will not. So got a little bit of effort yet to do on that Corvette. Meanwhile, here is a brand new, essentially, 2025 Corvette with the 2LT trim package. And I love this exterior color, Sea Wolf Gray.
Yeah, and you know, it's very similar to the color on my Jeep Grand Cherokee called Rhino Gray.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And Danielle gave us a little look at this car yesterday. This is the middle trim level, the 2LT, but it's got that 6.2-liter, 495 horsepower V8 engine and the 8-speed dual-clutch automatic. It does have the Z51 performance package and the performance limited slip rear axle. Suspension has the magnetic selective ride control. All of these things part of that 2LT package. 20-spoke midnight gray forged aluminum wheels with a red stripe. Get a good look at them there. And the power retractable body color hardtop. Yeah, don't lose sight of the fact this is a convertible. Big Bose 14-speaker sound system in here. Touchscreen infotainment. Ooh, good tasty stuff here.
And yeah, tasty enough to bring $77,000 and a high five to boot. 2025 Corvette convertible. Let's step back in time to 1970 and a Z28 Camaro.
Yep. First year for the Generation 2 Z28. The engine, not the original engine, the 355 horse. So I'm saying that is a GM performance engine, because if that were the original engine, it would have more horsepower than 355 in 1970. M22 Muncie 4-speed and the Mulsanne Blue. Chris gave us a quickie look at this a little earlier. 12-bolt 373 positive traction rear end, and traction bars have been added. And on a couple of side shots of this car, you can see them kind of sneaking up below the rocker panel there toward the rear wheels. That's a very practical addition to these cars. They were pretty famous for wheel hop under hard acceleration, so those traction bars help to keep all of the chaos under control underneath there.
Yeah, fantastic color combination. That Mulsanne blue over the matching interior. Just what a great look.
High bid though, 50 grand, as it will pay a visit to the Bid Goes On desk.
Yeah, the Z28 that year had a 360 horse 350, which was the same engine as the Corvette. The LT1 that was rated at 370, and we've talked about how they never wanted a car in their stable to have as much or more horsepower than the Corvette. This was an example.
Well, we move on to a 2018 Rolls-Royce Dawn convertible. You may have seen this yesterday. Chris and Danielle were having quite a time with this one, and the opening bid on this one is already 6 figures. Not surprising.
Yeah, I think what I like most about this car is the subtle, understated appearance. I don't like to attract attention. Oh boy, just look at everything. That Andalusian white, the color of the outside, the beautiful magella red leather interior, all hand stitched, glove soft. Those big time wheels, and I'm not a big fan of big wheels, but somehow I think they really tie this car together.
They work, and the floating centers are such a cool touch too, so the Rolls-Royce symbol is always upright and legible.
I think those are 18 spokes, if my quick math is correct.
You were just counting them on the monitor.
I had to. I mean, all right, we will take a break and return with more from Indy in just a moment. Oh, baby. Bill Stevens, look at this. $125 just hammered for this 66 Corvette with big block power.
Oh, baby, big build. Yeah, 427. That's an old school 427, not one of those new school small block 427s. 5-speed manual, frame off restoration. This kind of has the flavor of one of our friend Jeff Hayes'
Oh,
builds.
yeah.
A local hero here in Indianapolis, and this one very deservedly sells for well into 6 figures.
125, that puts it number 2 overall for us today. Good way to kick off the segment. We'll continue it with the 67 Mustang convertible.
351 with an automatic behind it, 8.8-inch Ford rear end. That's a rugged piece. Shelby style hood, deck lid. It's been recently restored. Even the undercarriage has been detailed. You see those 5-spoke wheels on there that kind of vibe the Mustang Bullet wheels. Remember the reintroduction of the Mustang Bullet?
Uh-huh.
Kind of reminds me of those wheels. 17 inches. And brand new rubber wrapped around those 5-spokers.
It didn't take any time to count the spokes on that one like that Rolls Royce.
I couldn't believe you got your finger on the monitor counting those spokes. That's what I call doing your homework.
Well, you know.
Yeah, those wheels might have been off of the reissue of the Bullet Mustang.
Yes, 2013, 2014.
Yeah,
whatever it was.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, 1953, 3100 5-window pickup. When each one of us picked a vehicle to talk about here a little while ago, this was the one that I was mentioning with the rare 5-window configuration and that GM Performance crate motor. Right there it is.
Yeah, plenty of power there. The 502 has a 454 to begin with and winds up with a 502. That's what I'm guessing. Automatic transmission and a lot of extras. Vintage air, got an independent front suspension on there, and 4-wheel power disc brakes. 20-inch wheels from Bose at all 4 corners. Tilt steering column. Aftermarket gauges. Excellent build.
Look at this, and we're at 85,000. The reserve is off. This is going to be our top truck, it appears, at the auction today. Look at that.
It's like those rear wheel wells and fenders might have been massaged a little bit to fit those big wheels under there, and they did a great job of doing it.
Boy, that's a fantastic look, isn't it?
Yeah, they maintained the contours and just made a little more room for the rubber.
All right, 85,000 on the money for that pickup truck. Here is the 2024 Z06 with the 3LZ package, Bill.
Yeah, and this is the one that we gave a quick look to just a little while ago. Loaded Corvette. I can't think of anything that is not checked off on this one. The Z06, the 670 horse, flat plane crank V8. 8-speed dual clutch automatic, has that electronic limited slip rear end, and the ultimate performance package. Adrenaline red stitching all around that jet black leather upholstery. Wow. Torch red seat belts. See the quad exhaust poking out from underneath that rear valance. carbon flash painted, carbon arrow, high wing, with the dive planes and the ground effects. Like I say, the order sheet, they must have had to send out for another one because they used up everything on the first one.
Now we're at 90. Matt Morvek in charge here.
92,000. Get 90 bid, 2, 5, now 5. Unless you're 5. 2's right here. 5 is a George, 97, 95, 97 a bid. 97, 95, 97 a bid. 95, 97, 97. How to get a video, better, cut a video, 7, cut a video, 700.
In case you missed it, 670 horsepower.
Oh, yeah.
460 pound-feet of torque.
Oh, yeah, I put a little emphasis on that. That engine. For a naturally aspirated engine, that is crazy power.
Someone just got a very, very good deal on that car.
They sure did. $95,000 at no reserve. We'll go back to 1972 now, and the Chevy K5 Blazer.
Yep, nut and bolt restoration. A lot of money went into that. $350 for the automatic 4-wheel drive. Still got the build sticker in the glove box. A lot of those get lost by 2025 when you're talking about a truck that's from 1972. AC.
I really love how clean they left this build. You know, they didn't cut it up, didn't try to do anything special with it, just really let the vibe of the era stand out.
And they did a really a perfect job at it. Looking around it, you know, that's a one-year-only interior.
Right.
And when you see it, there's a lot of different ways you can go. When I got mine was obviously way more beat up than this when I started my restoration. But if you had started with those original wheels and original style hubcaps and go, okay, how can I do this right? I'll add a little bit of style. Okay, a white wall. It's not an aggressive tire by any means, but, you know, period correct to what would pull off the showroom floor. And it's obviously bringing the kind of money that I think these folks were hoping for.
Oh, you're right. Those white wall tires give it an entirely different personality. It so domesticates it. You know, we see these all done up to look like rugged, you know, I'm going to kill your mother kind of, you know, look out everybody.
Well, I mean, we're getting close to Halloween, but let's tone it down just a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Why, did I say something wrong?
82 is the bid.
Yeah, I think the white walls on this make it look like a Bronco with uncut fenders that has narrow tires. You know, it kind of gives that, to your point, a little more of a classy look. If
By the way, that plaid is the Rutledge Wood edition insert.
It's the Rutledge interior.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that we almost reached the same sale point as that 2024 Corvette that rolled across the block right in front of it.
Right.
Amazing.
87,000. Starting to get into the high rent district here a little bit. And now to the beautiful 57 Nomad wagon. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, not much done to this outside of the originality, except it's got a 700R automatic overdrive transmission. People weren't even dreaming of those in 57. But it has had a frame-off restoration with only 1,000 miles on it since then. 283, yep, that's what belongs in there. Vintage air has been added, and so is this tilt steering column with disc brakes. And you can see there ain't not much originality in terms of how that 283 is dressed. But the overall vibe, the overall DNA, you know, the overall, you know, starting point for that Nomad's still right there. These did not sell that well, unfortunately. You know, people said, wait a minute, I don't want a fancy station wagon. I want something that's practical. I'm not going to be afraid to hurt it if I'm hauling things. And it's a two-door, and families were looking for four-door wagons back then. So although we love them today, it took a little while for them to find their audience.
Sure do.
You know?
And $65,000 will wrap things up on that one, the high bid. So a date at the bid goes on desk is next. And for us, 375 horse, 440 equipped Charger RT from the pinnacle year for the muscle car, the original muscle car era, 1970. Oh yeah, by the way, that's the year that Chris Jacobs was born.
I was going to say thank you. Pinnacle year. I love it, and I happen to agree too, especially in this case. Real deal U-Code high performance 440. That's with the 4-barrel carburetor on there. Getting a look at that matching burnt orange interior, which I really think, Bill, is the selling point of this particular car.
Yeah, a lot of times it's the color scheme that attracts attention, and you're right on this one. By the way, I was born in 1949, which was the year that General Motors debuted those overhead valve V8 engines. So that's how I remember when I was born. Just think of those motors.
That's how you remember.
That's what happens. Just be prepared.
Returns off. Whoa, now 5. I get 70, 75. The cars for sale.
Reserve is off, and the number at 70 at the moment.
Trent sounded surprised that that reserve came off at that exact moment. So glad that it did, though. This car is going to be going home with a new owner.
Boy, that 440 375, talk about an all-purpose engine for Chrysler. We see it so often.
Versatile.
Versatile, powerful, a lot of torque.
Way more versatile than its more powerful cousin, the Hemi.
Well, yeah, this was a little more user-friendly than a Hemi.
Yes.
You had to pretty much keep after it to get all the performance out of it.
Okay, I think 72 was the final number on the Charger. And in 1954, Pontiac gave us the Chieftain, and here is a deluxe sedan.
This was just before the Bunky Knudsen era began at Pontiac, and so much changed in terms of their image and performance. There you see that 239 cubic inch inline 6-cylinder engine, not a powerhouse by any stretch. Hydromatic 4-speed automatic, and that's a Shannon green is that color. Kind of a pretty color on that car. The Raven black all over the top.
You look at this car, Bill, and you just think, wow. Fast forward to what Pontiac was doing just 10 years from here.
Yes, sir.
With the GTO and all the stuff that was going on.
Yep, John
like
DeLorean.
Light years away.
Was at Pontiac, the chief engineer, brought in the Grand Prix, Catalina, 2+2. A lot happened, but give Bunky credit, because in the next 5 years after he came in, we saw the fuel-injected Bonneville in 1958. They continue with that, and they had the dual quad cars. And a whole new era for Pontiac performance began right there.
Okay, 1962 now, a 4-door Chrysler Imperial.
And Mr. Jacobs, I believe, gave us a preview of this automobile.
I did indeed, and we sang the praises of Virgil Exner, and you very astutely pointed out that soon after the debut of this car, he was fired from Chrysler essentially as a scapegoat for Chrysler's declining sales. So, but his legend had already been established before this car came out with, of course, the development of the forward look that Chrysler was so famous for.
The other thing that was kind of like his Waterloo was the 1961 Plymouth. Talked about that, the design. Do you know that when that car debuted, there were Plymouth dealers who gave up their dealerships because they were so unhappy? That was not a good time, but Virgil is being remembered as one of the leading automotive designers. Actually spent time with Harley Earl before
his
he
first
went
job
to Chrysler.
was initially hired by Harley at GM.
He had a great mentor.
Big car right there for just physically big car for just $14,000.
Oh yeah, that's got 140-inch wheelbase, something like that.
And a 63 Thunderbird will be right behind it.
Here we go with the Bunky Knudsen legend again. He wound up at Ford after he left General Motors, and he was responsible for a couple of generations of the Thunderbird. This is the 63. This one really added a little bit more in the way of creature comfort, styling, glitz, chrome, things like that. It was evolving into that personal luxury car that would compete with the Pontiac Grand Prix and the Riviera and cars like that. 390, 300 horsepower V8, 4-barrel carburetor with a Cruise-O-Matic automatic transmission. said, the
14,000
optional air conditioning, which
14.
did not
14.
pop up in a
14,
lot of Thunderbirds
14,
back in
got 13,
1963.
14, 13,
This one has it.
Iron Navy to get down 13, 5, 14. Iron Navy to get down 13, 5 to bid, 14. Pound on the reserves off, and 13, 5, 14.
Okay, Trev lifts the reserve here, 13-5.
Thunderbirds really did not have long generations either. They've had 11 generations since they debuted back in 1955, and only 2-3 years, maybe 4 years here and there, and then brand new generation.
Right. Well, in this case, $13,500 buys that 63 Thunderbirds. So that's our signal to take a break. We'll be back with more from Indy in a moment.
A lot of people have heard of the swept line. Well, what preceded the swept line was the swept side, and that's what this one is, Dan. Very cool, very unique pickup truck.
Yeah, you put fins on it, and I guess that's the idea to sell it. But you know, the 55 through 58 Chevy Cameos were really the big thing, the fiberglass side beds with fins. This was Dodge's answer to that, and they only sold a few hundred because it was too expensive and it just wasn't what people were really looking for. But Dodge didn't get the memo that the Cameos were kind of going out of the way. But it makes it rare and it makes it very unique.
What I love about this era, especially for Dodge, like if you look at the headlights and how everyone else was going so sort of circular and Art Deco, and they're like, you know what, let's just flatten it off on the bottom and then give it a hoop. Like little touches made this one so different.
You see the rear fenders there, right from a Dodge station wagon. You see the wraparound windshield, the wraparound rear window. These trucks had automatic transmissions that were push-button operated right from the automobiles. And you have a 6 or a V8, so they had power, they had style, but as you say, not big sales successes because the price point was a little high for what people wanted pickup trucks for. They were utilitarian, they weren't styling exercises.
Yeah, you know, I don't think we've mentioned that Jack Shoemaker was such a fascinating gentleman, the father of Dan, who we just saw. He was one of the brain trusts for Sam Walton's Walmart conglomerate that began way back when. He was right on board and stayed with that company for years and got to a point where he could buy cars and collect them, and we're going to see a terrific selection of those cars when we get to Kissimmee.
Actually, in Fort Worth.
In Fort Worth, right.
Fort Worth,
Yeah.
later on this month, end of October, beginning of November,
Right.
yes. Okay, here is a car selling at no reserve, 2008 Shelby GT.
Yeah, we see these from time to time. This is not what you would call your classic Shelby Mustang that is constructed at the Shelby factory. This is a conversion. You would buy your Mustang GT, what have you, and take it out to Shelby and have it Shelbyized. This one with a Roush supercharger and nitrous. And it would be very hard to predict how much horsepower is in that 4.6-liter V8, but I would start somewhere around 500,000 and work from there.
Say, your brother-in-law's got a dyno that would handle it, right?
Yeah, no, that's a wild.
Give you a great rating.
Oh, dear. Wild combination. And it sells.
$20,000, indeed it does. And we step out to the 303 staging lane where Chris Jacobs is hanging out again.
Well, we've been having an amazing run of cars so far on this Saturday here at Mecum, and another one is coming down the pike in the form of a 1969 Ford Mustang Fastback. Underneath the hood is the 428 Super Cobra Jet, backed up by a 4-speed manual transmission. And we know it's the Super Cobra Jet because the rear axle is a traction lock 430. Really great restoration here, Acapulco blue. Exterior with the black interior and super, super clean. Look at those cool wheels and the vintage Goodyear polyglass tires. Man, is this a good looking Mustang. So everybody who loves these cars, you know what I'm talking about when I say that this is a rare one, and it's coming across the block, Scott, very soon.
Okay, we'll be on standby for it, Chris. In the meantime, high bid at $70,000 on this red Bel Air.
Yeah, and a restoration that certainly justifies a higher price point if someone goes to the bid goes on desk. Matching numbers, 283 with a Power Glide automatic.
How about this? 62 Bel Air, bubble top, ermine white, red interior, but it's all about that engine here.
I look at this car and all I can think of is Dino Don Nicholson. Yeah, he really began his reign of terror back in the early 60s with cars like this. Yeah, the 409 in here. This is the 409 horsepower 409 with a dual quad 7 T10 4-speed, as you can see right there, with that little flimsy, little dainty 4-speed shifter there that looks like it would break off in your hand. Actually more rugged than it looks. Positive traction rear end with 411 gears. That's your classic drag racing setup. Ermine white, red interior. And how about this for a period edition? An EB9A Sun tachometer that has been added. Yeah, a lot of history behind these cars. Of course, you know, we're all familiar with the Beach Boys song. But just when the NHRA was really beginning to marry with the manufacturers in Detroit, and Detroit was catching on to the importance of having cars that were successful on the quarter mile, you know, the win on Sunday, sell on Monday mantra got to be known all throughout Detroit, and this is one of the cars that caused it.
Close bid at $80,000, takes $90,000. Mecum rules in effect. Your ratio bid at 90. You own it. It's right. Cards right there in front of you.
Still holding on here.
It's worth it. You know it is. $90,000. What's he saying, Jared?
Say no.
There are those who would argue, Bill, that the 62 Bel Air is the bubble top. However, the 61 Impala had the same roof, and some guys would go that direction. So
Pontiac had them too.
Yep, exactly. And even back into the 50s, you could consider something a bubble top.
Only the people who sat in the back seat on a sunny day weren't crazy about it, because you're right. You get a sunburn on the back of your neck.
Yep. Okay, let's move on. 1968 RSSS Camaro. Yep, you could go both ways here. Rally Sport, Super Sport.
Yeah, and big block power, big block tober. Is definitely on display here. It's a 396 underneath there that has been cammed up. Steel crank, it's been balanced. Oh, we got to back up.
On the block now, showing his lot S145.
Yeah, they just reopened the bubble top, and no air escaped. $80,000. Had to throw that in there for you.
Nice one. Glad to see that, so that's
now,
great.
back to the Camaro, as you were saying.
Yeah, this has been hot rodded to the max. I mean, we're talking about the cam, steel crank. It's been balanced inside there, all the reciprocating pieces. FabTech 9-inch rear end, 4-wheel disc brakes, Coddington wheels, custom exhaust with ceramic coated headers. Here you see those wheels. Take a look inside. Yep, from Muncie, Indiana. How far is Muncie
from right here? Oh, you could probably get there in an hour and 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
Maybe even faster in this car.
Right. Depending on traffic, though, there's a little bit of road work going on in between here and there.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
You're out of 58 if you want it. 58. You got 56, 58,000, 56, 58, 58.
Sneaking up, I think, on the right money.
58, 58 pound under bid, and 56, 58. Now 60. Now 60, sir. $60,000 to you. Your turn. Just give 60. Give 60, sir. Iron David to get down 60. Iron David to get down 68,000. Iron David to get 68,000. Iron David back at 58. Last call for 59. Anybody else? Iron David at 809.
And I'd say you got to be at least 60.
It'll be it, yeah. Got to begin with a 6.
Iron David to get 59,000. 59. Iron David to get down 9 to bed. Iron David to get down 9 to bed. Anybody else? $59,000. 59. Iron David to get down 9 to bed. Iron David to get down 9
Mecum can work his magic. We'll see what happens.
What do we got? Okay.
Why don't you just make him roll 60 to him and see if he doesn't?
Mecum roll it to him at 60.
Okay. Close bid. Here's the deal. Internet, $60,000. You own the car. $60,000. Mecum rules in effect. Nick, Mecum rules in effect. If you'd like to get in at $60,000, you can own it. Like I said before, like you to give 60 anyway. Just give $60,000, own the car.
58.5.
Sir, raise your bid to 60 and own it.
58.5.
To give $60,000.
I got 58.5.
He's 58.5. Well, that's more than what I had on the internet. I've got 58.5 internet. You want to give 59? I guess we're back to the auction format now. 59. I got 58.5. 59. 59,000.
56.
Why say no when it feels so good to say yes, right?
But you gave 40.
No, sir.
Sell. Who'd like to see him sell the car?
No.
Sell the car. Let's sell it. Hey,
57.
how many times have you seen us take reserves off? You know, hey, reserves off. 58.5. 59. The Camaro's for sale.
Did I mention Frank become magic there?
Yeah, the consignor's shaking his head no, but Frank says the reserve's off. They got it worked out, and it's all going to be good. Yeah, no problem.
A lot of these consigners are customers, and they work together all the time.
Multiple cars, too, and it's just a kind of a law of averages, really, in many cases. So, yes, $58,500 buys that 68 Camaro. Now, 73 Challenger time, everybody.
Well, it's got a 340 in it, but I'm looking at this car, and this car, you know, I am the car whisperer, and this car is saying, somebody please put a Hemi in me. Because that would be the ultimate finishing touch on this. The 340, it's a fine engine. You know, if it's factory issue, it's 275 horsepower. But boy, look at Chris, look at the you know, the color and the wheel treatment and everything. That would be the ultimate sleeper with a Hemi in it.
Yeah, you know, this car was on display in the Dodge booth, and I did a preview side-by-side with that drop-top custom 2023 Challenger.
Right.
And I asked a little bit of a misleading question. I said, which one of these two cars would be the convertible? Well, it was a trick question because neither of them would be. They stopped making the first-gen Challenger as a convertible in 1971. So they didn't make any convertibles in 73. But yeah, Bill, I wouldn't mind a Hemi going in this because this is a G-code car, which means it came from the factory with a 318, so it's perfectly reasonable to put a Hemi in this car.
It's already had one engine swap.
Yep.
Sure.
Just change the K member and hop it on up.
Yes or no? 39.
38 grand is the bid.
Well, people are liking it here. Getting close to $40,000.
Hey, you've already got, you've already nailed the look on this car.
Oh, yeah.
Now just go to the engine room. 39,000 bucks. Hey, regardless, you've got a great car.
And at that price, you can afford to maybe do a 392 swap in that thing.
How about a elephant?
Put an elephant in there. Let's go four-digit horsepower. Why not?
Yo, baby.
Okay.
That elephant engine will cost you as much as you just paid for the car, by the way.
Yeah, I know. That's a good point.
Yeah, but money is never an object when you're dreaming, right?
Yeah, that's the way to do it if you're short on bucks.
73, one-year-only body style when we talk about the front lack of chrome and the chrome bumper on the back.
Yep.
In the Corvette.
Original car. It's got the L82. That's the optional 350 that had 250 horsepower in 1973, and it went down from there. But again, that's what was happening throughout the performance world back in the early 70s. This one with an automatic rather than the 4-speed, power steering brakes, factory air. Just a good Corvette cruiser. Not a bone-crushing muscle vet, that's for sure. And this will not be a lot of money.
Yeah, 16,000.
Yep.
Falling in that definite C3 affordability category. And there you go. And they're both over the moon. Look at that. Love it. Oh, so cool. Okay, this next car for us definitely falls into that sleeper category. Chris picked this one out as a full-size 69 Chevy with full-size power.
Big Blocktober, matching numbers, 427. Now in the full-size cars, 335 horsepower. And this was the last year for the 427 from Chevy. Remember, 1970, they went to the 454. This one with a turbo 400 automatic and a 12-bolt rear end. And some options. AM/FM radio, power front disc brakes, Power steering, rear defogger.
So 23,000 next bracket claim.
Up next,
And
on this one.
bada bing, bada boom, there you go.
Hey, not bad at all.
Nope.
That's well bought right there, 24.
No
grand for that
doubt.
sleeper.
Yep. Well,
You
you
are
know how
right.
I rave about big cars with big blocks, and there's another one.
So you'll see that one rolling toward the camera as we head toward a break. Back with more. And you get one more look at the happy couple who bought the Vette. Hey, so good of you to join us today here on ESPN Plus. I'm Scott. Bill is here in the booth. Chris and Rutledge, Danielle, and a cast of thousands here at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. It is our Indy Fall Special for 2025. And look at this beautiful Bel Air. Glad they put the top up on this one, Bill, because just that fantastic mixture of colors on this Bel Air is just remarkable.
Black paint, red interior, white top. It's a melange of color on this 57. This may be one of the best restorations of the 57s we have seen here in Indy. And look at the money on the board. I think that bears that out. Matching number 283, Power Glide, power steering and brakes, and a power convertible top. That was an option. They've replaced the hydraulics in there as well. This one with the fender skirts in the back. Dual mirrors with spotlights. Boy, that is a period piece right there. A spotlight in the front, had mirrors on the back side. Full wheel covers and the big tidy-whitey white walls, and you've got the full package.
And you are right. Very well done, the restoration and everything. And 72,000. Something tells me there's a pretty cool story with that guy, right?
I'm thinking he was dating his wife Helen back in 1957, and that's the car they used to go out in.
Hi, Helen.
Hi, Helen.
Okay. Big money potentially here on a 69 Mustang that is on the block.
Oh, this is the quintessential factory hot rod, people. Whoa. 69 Ford Mustang Fastback that Chris showed us just a little while ago. Second year for that 428 Cobra Jet in the Mustang. This is the Super Cobra Jet, rated at 335 horsepower, which explains why I always tell people do not believe horsepower ratings from the muscle car era.
Nope.
They were just throwing numbers around. They've done all kinds of work, a meticulous 9-year rotisserie restoration with Ford OEM and NOS parts. That takes extra effort. It's so easy to go the other way and get the, you know, the aftermarket or some of the rebuilt stuff that's out there, and they went to the max with sourcing everything for this.
Very gullible insurance agents back there in the 60s. They just, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Sure, whatever you say.
335, okay, yeah, that's a good number. Boy, these cars burst on the scene in 1968. Absolutely revolutionized the stock, super stock classes in the NHRA. Mentioned Dino Don Nicholson before. He was one of the original drivers for the Ford Performance Team, the Total Performance Team, and they would just wipe out everything. This is a 4-speed car. It's been all rebuilt, prepped. That's Acapulco Blue. And a traction lock 430 rear end, as Chris pointed out. That's the drag racing gear. No, we're not going to make it,
No,
Scott.
the bid goes on at $110,000. Okay, I got to update you on this. Our fantastic floor producer, Sean Belby, just came up and said, look, back to that Bel Air, the black one with the white top. He said the guy never dated a gal named Helen.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, just he always wanted a black one with red interior and a white top, and he worked his tail off for many years and just bought it today. How about that?
He could go out and meet a Helen.
Well, that's
Take
true.
her for a joyride.
That's true.
You know?
Okay. Thank you, Sean Belby. 1968 Mustang convertible now.
Yeah, the debut year for the 428 Cobra Jet, but this one does not have that engine. It's a small block with an automatic transmission, power convertible top, power brakes and steering, and red line tires. with those style steel wheels. Marty Report included. Kevin Marty does a great job of tracing the history of so many of the great Ford products over the years. This will definitely help whoever buys this car to understand its roots.
$24,000. Way less than the Mustang we just saw.
Yeah. Funny how a 428 Super Cobra Jet changes the game.
Yes. And this one gavels for $24,000. So you've got a fantastic little Mustang. Convertible.
Yep,
Have
V8
fun in it.
convertible.
Yes.
Can't get much better than that.
No reserve here on an extra long. I think that's what XL in XLT means. Just kidding, but it's a it's an F350 from 1994.
Yeah, that's the top trim level. And this is a crew cab dually with a turbo diesel. Big 7.3 liter, plenty of torque. This will tow just about anything with an automatic transmission. Odometer reads over 156,000 miles, which to a lot of people might scare them away. But hey, that powertrain and that truck is going to outlast most of us.
You may be able to fit that freeway one-seater into the cab of this 350.
Yeah, it's funny. These trucks have a real charm. So many of us grew up with, you know, my grandpa had one of these out in New Mexico, and he would pull a fifth wheel around with my grandma, Clarice. Bill and Clarice, they'd be riding around for years, and I just always thought they were so cool. But as a kid, I also thought it was about the size of Bigfoot. Because when you look up at a dually when you're a kid, you just think, oh my gosh, this is the biggest truck I've ever seen.
Yeah, that back seat's like a playroom for a kid.
Oh yeah, and what a great era of multi-tone stripes and appearance packages. Something I think they really ought to bring back. You know, that's a charm that
It's time.
Yeah.
It's time for it.
Yeah.
That and the earth tones. So a lot of those kind of subdued colors.
Okay, we move next to a 2008 Mustang GT Shinoda Boss.
Well, we don't get many of these, but when you see the name Shinoda, it takes you back to Larry Shinoda, the late, great Larry Shinoda, who was so responsible for some landmark designs. He was on the team at Chevy that worked on the split-window coupe. He actually worked before that at Packard, if you can believe that, and then he moved to Ford. Bunky Knudsen brought him in when Bunky was there, and Larry's given credit for coining the term boss. He was working on that Boss 302, and people would ask him, hey, what are you working on? Something for the boss. And the name stunk. It stuck. And this car, I didn't say it stunk. Did I say it stunk?
You did say it stunk.
I didn't mean that.
I know.
Going for stuck. Anyway, Shinoda Motorsports. Larry passed away in '97 real quick. His daughter took over the company, and they were building these Mustangs. Didn't work too much on the performance, more on the graphics and the appearance, and they're collector's items. And the fellow by the name of Jim Clark, I believe, is still building these cars and upgrading the performance. So long history for these automobiles.
I have no idea what the number was on that.
That's fantastic.
That Mustang. I'm sorry.
I knew I said something wrong when you started laughing.
Well, Chris, Chris and I made eye contact too.
Very close together, stunk and stuff.
Very true.
They're close.
1957 Bel Air hardtop this time, and you see the fuel injection badging here in a total custom build here, Bill.
Oh yeah, all the way, starting at the engine, 5.7 liter LS1 with modern aftermarket fuel injection, 4L60E, overdrive, electronic, automatic transmission, Moser, 12-bolt rear end, take all that power, and fabulous finish work, paint, interior. Foose wheels, chrome, everywhere on that 57, just to a high gloss.
No reserve.
See the lower fender front there, it's got those OEM fuel injected flags. And 57, you could get a fuel-injected Chevy Bel Air, and those flags were above the molding. And they moved them down lower. They did the buildings.
I have 53 bid. You're going to get 54,000. You're going to get 3 bid. You're going to get 54. 5. 55,000. You're going to get 5 bid. You're going to get 4 bid. 5. 6. At 56,000. You're going to get 55 bid. You're going to get 6 bid. You're going to get 56.
Last call.
Still working on it, and there it is.
There it is.
$55,000.
67 Nova FS hardtop. Got a V8 with an automatic.
That is choice. You know, the guy that bought the black one with the white convertible should have been on that one. Had a pair.
Beautiful pair. Boy, they go together.
67 Nova Super Sport here with a 350 under the hood.
Yeah, it was still a Chevrolet Chevy 2 Nova in 1967, and then it just became the Nova.
Yep.
And that name stuck. 350 Edelbrock, quick fuel, 4-barrel, hooker headers, and dual exhaust. We're talking maybe around 400 horsepower here. Got an automatic transmission and a 12-bolt rear end. Ooh, long-legged rear end ratio, 308s with positive traction.
And it sounded great when it came by us. Nice growl to it, Chris.
Really good rumble as it rolled up onto the block.
Number 4 in the cubic inch V8, automatic, vintage air.
All right, heading away to a new home. Good for it. See what happens to this 67 GTO now.
Yeah, we've had some choice GTOs here in Indianapolis, and here's another one. 1967, displacement went up to 400 cubes. This has that, and it's the matching numbers engine. Turbo hydromatic with bucket seats, a console, and yep, the first year for the his and hers Hurst shifter. This one has that, vintage air, power steering, rally wheels. There you go, poke at the inside. All armor rolled out everywhere.
Anybody get 57?
Rally 2 wheels, red line tires.
55 bid. Anybody get 57,000? Anybody get 7? GTO now 57. Close a bid at 55,000.
All right, 55,000. That'll be the high bid on that GTO. And a beauty it is from 1967. Welcome back to Indianapolis. We're at the State Fairgrounds Coliseum. That is the 303 staging lane going the opposite direction as we are accustomed to. But nothing different about 303 and its ability to help protect your car. And with the protectant and the interior cleaner, boy, they give you a really solid 1-2 punch. It'll take care of the interior surface and also will help protect from the harsh UV rays from that Indiana sunshine, and even in October when it's in the 80s, and keep everything looking brand spanking new. You can find out more at 303mecum.com. 303 is proven to protect. On the auction block, front and center, 1989 AM General Hummer H1.
Yeah, make way for the heavyweight right here. This appeared in 2025's movie Superman, so this is a movie star.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
It was a Luthor Corp vehicle that was used by Lex Luthor's henchmen. So it's a villainous General Hummer H1. 6.5-liter diesel V8 with an automatic, and of course the four-wheel drive. And inside,
nothing.
Nothing.
Except space.
That's all. Yeah, boy, you know, it's funny to have a vehicle that size, and yet people that sit in the front kind of feel a little cramped because there's not a lot of seat room there, you know. You got that big console in the middle there.
Even in the back seats, I mean, there is zero leg room, nowhere to move sideways. You've got that you've got that, if you look on the roof there, that comes off, the opening, for if you want to. If the Luthor Corp guys, the henchmen were up there, and they could fire at will.
Yeah.
Okay, whenever we see a Boss 429, all eyes on the car because big bucks are about to hit it.
They always do. This one's been driven a little bit. It's got over 55,000 miles on the odometer, but it is still a real 69 Boss 429. First year for the Boss 429. That color, we see it so many times. Beautiful candy apple red, black interior. They all had 4 speeds like this one. And of course, that semi-Hemi 429 rated at 375 horsepower, which again is way below the real horsepower rating on those engines. Very sophisticated, powerful engines. 391 traction lock. See that a lot in these cars.
$170,000 bid, and real quick, at no reserve, there's an important asterisk with this car. This has been donated to the auction by the seller. The proceeds will be going to benefit the Tulsa, Oklahoma Community Foundation. Of course, Mecum does an auction every year in Tulsa, and this is going to that community foundation. And 195, 200 is the current bid.
Wow.
A 2-year only build for the 429s, and I prefer the 69s just because I like that headlight configuration better in the 69. Easy way to tell them apart is all 69s have a body color matched hood scoop, and then in 1970 they were all black. So with the exception of the black 1969s, easy way to distinguish.
Multiple internet bidders on the other end of the computer there with Megan in the lower left-hand corner.
Yeah, it's still going up. $215,000. And still going up, and mileage really not playing a big role in people's appetite for this car.
Doesn't seem to be. You mentioned those are the original Magnum 500s too.
Original Magnum 500 wheels.
I have 225 bid, 230,000 once, 230,000 twice. Last and final call for 230. Sold $225,000. Sold $225,000. Megan on the internet. Sold.
And thank you, Larry Shinoda, for that name. Boss 429.
Very true. And 225, with all of it going to benefit the Tulsa Community Foundation, and that is very solid in the #1 spot as far as our top sellers of this entire event now.
Yeah, Bunky and Larry didn't spend a long time there, but they certainly made an indelible mark with that Boss moniker.
Yeah, when Bunky got bounced, so did Larry. Kind of like a
package
team.
deal.
A team abandoned ship, I guess.
They were attached.
Well, here's an SVT Cobra R now from Y2K selling at no reserve.
Well, next to a 1965 GT350R, this is my favorite Mustang. Oh, are these cars hot. It's got the 5.4-liter, 385 horsepower double overhead cam V8 engine and the Tremec T56 6-speed manual transmission. These were track cars, another one of those cars where it was just born to run.
No, they got 62.
High winding V8 engine. Man, you could probably hit the 6,500, maybe the 7,000 RPM mark with these. They just rev all day with the right brakes, right suspension. And they did not build many 300. That was it.
Now we got 66,
68, 60.
John Coletti was the top guy. SVT Performance, one of the guys that helped hatch this into really one of the most memorable Mustangs of all time.
All right, all good.
70?
All good.
I know, mine too.
70. 70.
You're calling somebody else a quitter. 69, 70, 69, baby, 70,000.
It's our man Ryan in the upper left-hand corner, just, 10 feet away from us, Bill.
Yeah.
And the guy who's in at 69 is asking for Jimmy to gavel this thing, and quick.
Sold 69,000.
You really wanted it.
Brian.
Now I'll bring out 144.
You know that, yeah.
69
He's
Ford
happy.
Mustang
Uh-huh.
fastback.
I would be too.
And a sigh of relief. You know, actually, I'm quite surprised that this is one of your all-time faves, man. As
really
many of them as there were.
Yeah, you know, of course, great Mustangs. I mean, that new GTD.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
That's a car that I would lust for. But these, I got a soft spot in my heart for these Cobra R's.
Okay, well, here is a 69 fastback for us to peruse for a moment or two.
Yeah, this has got a little 302 V8. Not very. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That's a 468 cubic inch big block in there that's been all done out. Edelbrock, heads, comp, cam. Whoa, baby. We're talking well over 500 horsepower sitting there. Tremec 5-speed manual, traction lock rear end with 350 gears. Power front disc brakes. They restitched the interior on these. New stuff like wiring, brake lines, fuel tank. All that good stuff. Look, if that is not a gaslighting Mustang, when you look at it, you would never know really how much chaos lives underneath the hood of that.
Not a Mach 1. You see the Mach 1 stripe.
No.
But it's got the look, man.
Yep.
It's
standard Mustang.
Beauty.
Yep. Well done.
No reserve here at 60. I love that color combination.
Yes.
Silver jade.
Yep. That's classic.
It looks green to me, but they call it silver jade. Okay, so that one sells. This one will as well at no reserve. We know that going in. It's a W31 on a 70 Olds Cutlass.
Yeah, the difference between a W30 and a W31 is the size of the engine. Those W30s had 455s. This is the small block, 350. But this is really original. Matching numbers, drivetrain, 4-speed transmission, and those 5-spoke super stock wheels. Ooh, what a beauty.
Yeah, basically a W31 package just took all the goodies that were on the 442 and put them on a Cutlass, essentially. Got that fiberglass ram rear hood.
Yeah, once again, this kind of goes back to how people that had the real W30 was kind of getting worked over by the insurance companies. And so the decision was made to kind of downsize the engine a little bit, still leave a lot of the performance in it.
Guy there proudly displaying his Rocket 88 Oldsmobile T-shirt, buying that W31. That's cool.
That's great. He'll give that car a good home.
No doubt. Okay, here is a 23 SRT Hellcat jailbreak wide body with pretty low mileage here, I think.
Yeah, 240 miles in a one-owner car.
Bingo.
6.2 liter, 807 horsepower. Lurking underneath there in that Hemi. Supercharged 6.2, the Torque Flight 8-speed.
Yeah, this is a really good look with the gloss pitch black paint job and the matte black stripe going from the hood up over the roof and down the deck lid.
That is sweet.
Phenomenal. And Dodge, you know, they gave you a lot of horsepower options throughout the run of these SRTs with that 6.2 supercharged. This was, as you said, Bill, coming in at 807 horsepower. One underneath, or I guess 2 steps underneath the Demon from 2018. Yeah.
And wasn't that something that the top guys at Chrysler said they would never come out with an engine with more horsepower than the Demon?
Only took them 5 years.
That's all.
85 buys this car. Back in a moment. We are back in Indianapolis, hanging out overhead at the State Farm booth. And as you know, State Farm has coverage that meets your needs for a price that'll fit your wallet as well. Hey, and our State Farm moment of the day today happened a bit ago with a 2020 Shelby GT350R Heritage Edition. Final year of this production Only 281 were built. This one less than 2,000 miles, and it brought the money as well. 526 horse, 5.2 liter V8, and a 6-speed manual. And that gentleman right there dropped $92,000 on it, and that made his day. You heard him say, "I can't believe I got one." That is our State Farm moment of the day.
I wonder if he knows he's going to get his face ripped off.
You know what? He probably does, and he's okay with it.
He wants to do it.
Yes. Okay, another Trans Am SE edition here from 1981. The reserve has come off at 40,000, even as we say it.
Yeah, excellent condition on this Trans Am. The SE, that bandit look. Remember, 1981 now. 400 was gone a year earlier. And this is now with that turbo 4.9.
From the George Randall collection.
Okay, we move on to a 2017 water car, Panther. And who better to clue us in on this than our water car expert, Rutledge Wood.
I don't know if anyone could be a water car expert, but I'll try. I know about these because I've seen my friend Joey Logano, Cup champion, drive one in and around Lake Norman in North Carolina. Guys, I would show you the engine, but it's not up front. No. After you pass the interior, there's a four-speed, there's actually a Honda V6 right back here that I think is running a setup to where it's a 4-speed transmission, but there's also a jet propeller that works this thing. So for once we could say a Jeep has VTEC, which I never thought I'd say before, but these things are really cool. Just it's got rear-wheel drive only. And Dana Mecum said it would work with, I think with my Mohawk would be a pretty good swim fin there. But I think you could just drive this thing right into the water and switch over to the jet, and then you just keep going. It's not 4-wheel drive, only rear wheel. I've never seen one in person before today. This thing is legit, guys. It's bananas. What a fun ride.
Yeah, and these
look at the money.
These were not inexpensive. These were right up there with a price point. Yeah, and that engine in there, that VTEC, that's that variable valve timing V6. 3.7 liter with a single overhead cam. That's a pretty trick motor to have.
I mean, you know, the Amphicar was one thing, right? But imagine if you could do highway speeds and then charge into the water and really take off.
Hey, anybody who can just rap for 90 seconds on that car qualifies as an expert.
Thank you.
And look at this. $100,000. Are you kidding me?
That's what I said.
Wow.
You would never guess,
Never,
but yeah.
Never would have thought.
No go?
You got to admit, that is super useful.
Oh, yeah.
To that, you know, to the outdoorsy type that's like, I want to go to the next city over, but also I want to go boating. Just the in-between parts I don't care for. I don't have to get the trailer out. No, just take off.
You will never see another one at the cruise night either.
No.
That's for sure.
All right, $105,000. Okay, let's dial the calendar way back here to 1939, the year my mom was born, actually.
Yeah.
Little Mercedes-Benz 230 sedan.
A lot was happening in the world. We're on the threshold of World War II, and things changed within a couple of years as to what the manufacturers were concentrating on. At this point, yeah, they were still building luxury cars and high-end cars. And this is one of them. 2.3-liter inline 6-cylinder engine with a single Solex downdraft. Engine about 55 horsepower. The 4-speed manual transmission. Well prepared, well presented. Great restoration. Car we do not see very much of here at Mecum. And look at the price. Very reasonable.
My
hammer
goodness.
price.
And a beautiful car.
Yeah.
Here's a Mercedes-Benz from 1962. This happens to be the 220 SE Cabriolet. Oh, you could spot this a mile away.
Yeah,
Jim.
you're right, especially this one with the color combination. And these cars are definitely square in the middle of the collector's radar screen these days. These were kind of the forgotten Mercedes for a while. Everybody was talking about the SLs and the two-seat roadsters, and these larger cars kind of falling into the background, but not anymore. These are really picking up a lot of fans. This one imported to the United States in 1976. The engine's the Euro spec 2.2 six-cylinder engine that's been rebuilt with Bosch fuel injection and a 4-speed manual. Navy blue canvas top over that white, and great job in bringing this car back to original condition. Love to see the top down on this.
40 down, down, 40, 40 down, down, 40, down 2, 40 down, down, take it to bed.
Now he's got 40, 42. You want to go 41?
42, 45, 45, 45, down 5. You're good, George. Down 45, down 5. You're 5, 45 pounds and out of bed, down 5.
Hang on.
7.
He's got
47 pounds and others on it.
I don't know.
45
I'm back with you.
pounds, George.
You want to go 46?
47. Everybody else, 45, 47.
Are you sure you don't want to go 46?
45, 47 pounds and dollars.
I'll throw up 46.
So 45 pounds and dollars.
All right, 45 will buy that 62 Benz.
You know, you open the door, you close the door on these cars. You can tell they're so substantial. You know, like a Mosler safe. They're just so heavy. And tells you the quality of the car, how well it's built.
No doubt. Yeah, good point. Okay, you know, here's a car next that just might give that Boss 429 a run for its money for the top seller spot. And I'm talking about the always desirable 2019 Corvette ZR1, Bill.
No doubt about it. You know, the C7 Corvette went out with a big bang. This car right here is the last of the ZR1 cars from that generation that topped the horsepower pyramid big time. 755 horsepower out of the LT5 supercharged 6.2. You could get a manual, this one with the 8-speed automatic transmission, and we've seen these with the manuals, and they definitely trade at a premium because that was the last of the manual transmissions in the Corvette, maybe forever. Carbon fiber ground effects package on that with that beautiful Sebring orange metallic paint, and a honest to goodness 200-mile-an-hour Corvette.
And that car, to their credit, really hasn't aged at all. You park that next to a C8, number one, you wouldn't think they're both Corvettes, but number two, you would think, oh, these are made at the same time. I mean, it really, that car has grown on a lot of us over the years.
Right. 0 to 60, 3 seconds flat, quarter mile, 10 seconds. Just a world-class sports car. Any way you slice it.
140 pounds a bit now, 150.
This one just a shade over 3,000 miles.
Excuse me? 160. 147.5.
That's Kirk Delzell, I believe, with the consigner at the table. They're trying to iron out where he's got to be.
150 down.
Takes 160.
147.5. 150 pounds an hour. 147.5. 150. 147.5. 150. Okay, Mecum Rural, Ryan. Raise your bid to $160,000. I can drop the hammer.
That ain't gonna happen.
Raise your bid to $160,000.
How about 170?
Just at 160. Raise your bid to $160,000.
Ryan's optimistic.
Hey, you want to round it up to 150 and see if I'll split.
You're in for 150, isn't that right? 150?
Can you give 150? We'll see if he'll take it.
147.5 is what I got. I got 147 pounds and $500 bid. Anybody else give 150 pounds and dollars on a bet? 147.5 is the bid. Anybody give 150 pounds and dollars on it?
Okay, thank you.
147.5, 150.
Well, I think we're getting ready to close it up here.
Yeah.
And send it to the bid goes on at 147.5. So
our good friend Michael Fuchs.
Hang on a second.
150.
They just reopened.
147.5.
Somebody got curious.
Don't go anywhere. 147.5. 150.
It ain't over till it's
Don't
over.
move. Give 150, sir. That'll help me a lot.
I'm going to give you
Give
152. I only got
Give 150.
147.5. I'm going to give you
Give
152, so it's the same as
Give 150.
your 160. Oh, you okay with
152.
Please.
With no fees on
150 pounds and dollars on two.
152 in my pocket.
Correct, sir.
All right, do it.
Okay, well, a little extra effort pays off.
Reserve is
We've seen that happen before. You just got to make the numbers work for everyone, and that's what happens. I was going to mention our good friend Michael Fuchs brought one of those to Kissimmee a few years ago. I got to drive it. The only thing those cars don't have that should have is an AED for the driver.
Good job. Good coaching. Good coaching.
AED delete then, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, well, after all of that, it winds up going for 147.5. And we check in now with Danielle Trotta.
Thank you so much, Scott Hoke. It's time now for Memory Lane, where we show some photos you've submitted on our Mecum Facebook page of your favorite cars from years gone by. Now, this is a 1955 Nomad wagon. I want to advance just a bit to the year 1973. Oddly enough, both cars I'm going to show you from that year, 1973, very different in style. Bill, I want to ask you a little bit about this first one. It comes from Mr. Dennis Charles. He said, "This is my very first car, 1973. V-Dub Super Beetle. Captured the picture in 1988. Now, you may remember the 73 Beetle featured a lot of key changes. That curved windshield, larger front end, trunk, bumpers. Great looking Beetle there, Dennis. The next photo coming in also from 1973, but this is Jim Fox's Nova. He said, "I got it when I was 5 years old from the family, and I still have it to this very day." Now, the 73 Nova also had major styling changes. New front end, sportier trim package. Bill, in 1973, were folks in the car world talking about a transition in performance? Were a lot of things changing in that era due to emission rules?
Oh boy, we had just come through oil embargoes, gasoline prices were skyrocketing, and performance was really no longer the way that cars were being sold back then. You're right, Danielle. It was a whole new era for people who loved automobiles.
Yeah, a lot of those changes too. I mean, even the Beetle that we were showing you, the bumpers, and having to change things for U.S. safety and emission standards. So really interesting stuff there.
Yeah, you remember. Yep.
Good stuff. Thanks, guys. Fun edition of Memory Lane.
Always. Thank you, Danielle. On the block right now is a 2014 Nissan GTR. You know, as hot and as popular as these cars are, we don't see them on the auction block very often.
Not very often, but you're right. There's a lot of thunder you're looking at right now. 3.8 liter, 545 horsepower V6. That's a twin turbo, double overhead cam V6 with a 6-speed dual clutch automatic. World-class sports car, no doubt about it. And boy, they just exploded on the scene when they released this car.
They sure
Nissan,
have.
Yeah.
And that R35, as a lot of people call it, you know, having owned a GTR before, that R35 is always on my kind of list of cars I want to get. But that one, low miles, beautiful car, well bought today.
All right, so we'll move from the Nissan to a 2020 Corvette 2LT.
Yeah, this is the middle trim level, the 2LT, but there's nothing downsized about the performance. That has the 6.2 liter, 495 horsepower V8. And the odometer reads just over 3,000 miles, has the performance exhaust. That brings the horsepower total up a little bit. And the 8-speed dual clutch automatic. Options abundanza. Carbon flash, full-length dual racing stripe package, adjustable ride height, memory, dealer installed composite rockers, Splash cars also dealer installed. All these little extras added onto this car after it left Chevy.
And I tell you what, those tan seats really go great with that blue exterior. Really gives it a nice pop.
Chevy calls it rapid blue, but if that's not grabber blue, I don't know what is.
Right.
Boy, that's
I agree with you.
A dead ringer right there.
$56,000 will be the high bid for that 2020 Corvette as it gets set for an appearance in the Bid Goes On listing. And we will check out a car coming up shortly, a 66 Ford Galaxy 7-liter convertible. Wow, oh wow. Straight ahead. Stay with us.
About performance. I tell you, that Ernst collection is going to leave you breathless between the Yenko Camaros and the Shelbys, and just so many great classic muscle cars that I was there when we shot those cars, and I consider myself very fortunate to have been there. Very impressive.
And we've seen cars from Cliff Ernst before, and he never disappoints.
Nope.
No doubt about that. Hey, you know what? How about staying with kind of our little oddball amphibious car theme? We had that water car a little while ago that's in the top 10 of the day today. Here's a 64 Ampha car, and look at the money this is bidding on. We all need to get into these, apparently.
They always do. The Ampha cars always bring the money. It's amazing. These are so collectible.
I mean, you look at the guy driving. Look at the smile on his face. He knows everybody knows he's the coolest guy in town right now. I mean, the fact you could put a Sunbrella in there next to him, just bring the whole fam with you. And guys, I'll be honest, I realize, I'm the only one of us out of the 5 who's ever crossed a major lake, the Great Lake of Ontario, in an amphibious car. I gotta be honest, I think I'd rather take the Panther than the true Ampha car if I had to do it all over again.
Oh, you're a wise man. Yeah, this is powered by a Triumph Herald 4-cylinder engine. I had a Triumph Herald years ago, one of the sadder chapters out of my life, but I don't want to get into it now. They call the model of these Ampha cars the 770, meaning 7 miles an hour on the water, 70 miles an hour on land. You go 70 miles an hour in that car, I am giving you the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Will your face get ripped off?
No, believe me, it'd be far from that.
60,000, what, 63 or 4,000 for that Ampha car? My goodness. Okay, here's one that will have you doing a double take quickly. That is not a typo. That is a 73 Datsun 240Z, but it's a replica of one of the most famous and legendary cars on the planet, Bill Stevens.
Well, we see replicas built when the original cars get a little bit out of our price range.
Or a lot.
Yeah, this could be the quintessential example of that. A 73 Datsun 240Z disguised as a Ferrari 250 GTO. And you know what? Some of the angles and some of the dimensions aren't exactly right, but if you squint, you're kind of thinking you're looking at a Ferrari.
If you pour a milkshake on your face and squint, you may think it's a GTO.
Well, it's got the Barani wires on there and the right color, and it's got the Scuderia shields on the fender. Yeah.
It's kind of like those Fieros that they turn into Ferraris. You're looking at it going, yeah.
Oh, they're worse.
It kind of looks like it, but your instinct is saying no.
Oh, Oh, yeah, those are, way outside the box.
There's a lot of angles that this car really is cool.
All right, so the high bid at $75,000, I guess.
That's nothing to sneeze
No,
at.
I know.
Wow.
Wasn't enough to buy it, but strong nonetheless.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of strong and a fabulous car, 65 GTO, we're at 100 on this one.
Yeah, this is the one we previewed earlier today, Bill, and a beautiful built LS6 in there, Tremec 6-speed, bare brakes. Chris, I think you showed this off yesterday too. Gorgeous with that black cherry.
No, I didn't get to it yesterday. I wanted to, so I was glad that you previewed it today. That is a stellar build, and 100 grand, that's not even close to what that car is
Right.
worth.
Agreed. Bid goes on at 100. Bill, you and I were talking about this morning. The next car, a 97 Viper GTS, pretty low mileage too, and all eyes on where this one goes.
Less than 3,000 miles, identical to mine. Mine was a 96, identical except for, as we've talked about, the stripes on the back of that car. They break at the license plate on the 96. They go all the way down, but other than that, same powertrain, 8-liter, V10, 450 horse, 6-speed, manual transmission.
There you see it.
Viper blue, white stripes. They come stock with the Alpine stereo with a CD player. And with the mileage on this car, yeah, we're kind of sneaking up to 100,000, but looks like we're not going to quite make it.
I really want one of those. That I'm telling you, the blue with the white stripes, just quintessential. Some people think it's because it's cool. I think it's because Bill had one, and Bill's the coolest guy I know.
Aww.
So therefore, that's the one I want.
Oh,
You're
thanks,
welcome.
Rod. I appreciate that. I still don't want a water car, even though you've been in one of those.
I didn't say I wanted one of those either.
Well, here next up is a 2022 Porsche Taycan
Turbo.
This is
Turbo.
the turbo trim level, which it's just a name. Obviously, it's not a turbo car because it's electric,
Right.
but Porsche gives the highest trim level, the turbo. I've driven 2 electric cars in my life, the Taycan Turbo being one of them, and I can tell you, this car is insane when it comes to off-of-the-line acceleration. It is nuts the way you feel when you mash the accelerator on this car.
Yeah, and that's the story we hear so many times about the difference between an internal combustion engine vehicle and an electric vehicle. Electric vehicles, all the torque is available as soon as you hit the throttle.
Yep.
Internal combustion, you've got to work the engine into that sweet spot in the torque range, and that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, and if it's hard to look down on people from your Tesla, this car will really put you right over the top.
55 grand is the high bid on that Porsche. And a 1972 C10 custom pickup is right behind it.
Well, this has had a rather unique appearance, doesn't it?
Yes.
495 horsepower out of an LS3, 6L90E, automatic transmission, Willwood brakes, coil-over suspension. All the hardware in this is certainly state-of-the-art. It's just that exterior finish. Kind of a combination between patina and filth, I think, is the way I would describe that.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some of it is patina on purpose. Maybe it's been clear coated.
Yeah. Look at the tailgate, even a little rust that's kind of seeping along the top of it there.
I tell you what, if you're going to lower a truck, especially one that's a step side, dump it to the ground and then fill those rear wheel wells up like these folks did. That's picture perfect.
That reminds me of Dolly Parton's line. You wouldn't believe how much it costs to look this trashy. Oh, that is just a nutshell of what we see at every Mecum auction. When people get that vehicle that they want, and they can share some of that love with their wife or girlfriend. We love to see that. Kind of adds another dimension to what a Mecum auction is all about. Okay, we're back on the block with his 1966 Ford Galaxy. This is a 7-liter convertible. This is the first year they were putting that 7-liter 428 in the Galaxy. Now, this is not the Cobra Jet. That came 2 years later, but this is the 345 horsepower version of that 428. This with the automatic transmission in it, and Magnum 500 wheels, the red paint and the black interior. They're singing to each other. And a fabulous restoration on this car. There's just nothing about it to squawk about.
Yeah, it's a cool ride for sure. You know, the Galaxy was definitely different than a lot of the other cars that Ford was making at the time, right? It was more of like almost like a grand touring sort of a positioning versus a pure sports car. But when you put that much power in there, Bill, you know people are going to have a good time with it.
Oh, that'll light the tires up, no question. And, of course, the Galaxy and the Galaxy XL, that was the biggest and the baddest and the most beautiful Fords that they were building at that time period. Going head-to-head with the Chevy Impala, the big Pontiacs and the Oldsmobiles. But these Fords with the big block engine, I'm thinking of what it would be like to own one.
All right, we move on. 1966, or rather 67 GTO.
Yeah, you know, this is very much like the last one that we saw, Scott. Matching numbers, 400 cube with the automatic transmission, power steering, brakes. This with the first year of the Hurst dual gauge shifter. We saw that in the last 67 as well. And the Rally 2 wheels.
I love the style on this one. It's interesting we see so many different kinds of cars here at Mecum, and this one sitting at that original height, you really get a good perspective of, number one, why creepers were so popular back in the day, because you actually had enough room to get underneath it, but also why the modern low-profile floor jacks are also so popular, because now you'd never have something that sits that high but looks so good.
Yeah.
Everything would be totally different.
Yeah, that fanny is up just a little bit, a couple of inches maybe in the back there. But that's what we did back then, too. That was considered the cool look.
Speaking of cool looks.
Oh, my gosh, yes. Look at this. Fuley 59 Corvette.
This might be our first C1 fuel-injected Corvette. Vintage restoration, correct drivetrain, everything. 290 horse, 283. That's that solid lifter version of the fuel-injected engine. They had a slightly less powerful hydraulic lifter version of those fueling motors. 4-speed transmission, Roman red, white coves, and I think that's the second time we've seen that color combination today, and not quite there.
Yeah, you know, you've got to be closer, a lot closer to six figures when you're talking Fuley here.
Yeah,
and the condition of this car.
Right, with the restoration level.
Well, they've started the engine on this 70 Camaro Custom. And it's rolling right in front of us, Bill Stevens, and it's an award-winning build on this car.
Yeah, you can just imagine the war cry that's going to come out of that car when you get into that throttle. 468, that's a 454, bored out, 60 over. We've had one or two of those already. The consignor rates it at 505 horsepower, but I think that's underrating it as well. It could have more. Forged rods and pistons, nice strong reciprocating parts in the motor, hooker headers, turbo hydromatic, the 400. Look at the green. Wow, that is a color you can't ignore. Hotchkiss suspension, QA1 coilovers, lots of work underneath. Willwood disc brakes, front and rear, and billet specialties wheels and an aftermarket steering wheel. You get a quick look at that as well. Great build.
Bid at 53 grand.
Like that high-rise induction hood.
57 bid, 55, 57. You get $55,000 bid, 57,000 bid. 15.5 down, 7 bid. I'd get a bit about 5, 7. I'd get a bit about 5, 7 here. At 5 bid, I'd get a bit about 7.
It's another one of those cars, Scott, that we think a 6 in front of that number is probably going to have to seal the deal. But once again, you never know.
I don't know if you mentioned it, Vintage Air, along with Memphis Audio.
Yeah, we did.
On board.
Yeah, we saw that Memphis Air when we got a look at the hood. That
Memphis Air or
Memphis Air and Vintage Sound. They merged.
Oh, now breaking news.
You didn't know that.
Didn't know that.
Close at 55, Mecum rule, $60,000.
$60,000.
Nice easy swing.
Well, you were right on the money, literally.
60.
They just laid out the Mecum rule at 60 grand, and there it is.
And they got it.
Wow. That was quick. That is a textbook example of the Mecum rule.
Indeed.
All right, we are inside of our final 30 minutes with you for today from here in Indianapolis. Let's kick it over to Danielle Trotta real quickly.
Yeah, we're going to end on a high note, Scott, because we are in the Hoosier State. We're in Indianapolis, so you know what that means. We get a lot of Indianapolis 500 pace cars, but this one's got a really special story. This one from 1972, the Oldsmobile Hearst. We actually, Chris Jacobs, just ran into the owner who said he's going to be very emotional watching this cross the block in just a minute.
Yeah, this is a pretty amazing story. So in 1972, after this car and others were used as festival cars, it was offered for sale to the public. The consignor's dad said, hey, I'll take one of those. And for $4,000, he brought it home, gave it to his wife, the consignor's mom. She daily drove it. In fact, dropped him off at Glenbrook South High School just out of Chicago, very close to where I grew up in Glencoe. And this was the car that he was dropped off at school in almost every day. And what's even cooler, Scott, and you might like this car was driven in the festival for the 72 Indy 500 by a guy named Jim Pulowski, who was the voice of the Little 500, the bicycle race.
My sister was in the Little 5. Yeah.
With the Indy 500.
I love that.
This car's got some amazing history. It's been in the same family since 1972 and is finally being offered for sale here at Mecum. What a cool history for this car, Scott.
And one more, that very true, guys. Thank you very much. And one more little footnote, the Little 500 was the basis for the movie Breaking Away. Do you remember that?
I do.
Absolutely.
Little 5 is no joke, Scott. You were in that race?
No, I was not in the race. I was just saying it was the basis for that movie Breaking Away.
Yeah.
From, I think, 1979.
Yeah, I think that's about right. What a great movie that was.
Oh, a classic.
Punch the time clock.
No question. Okay, 1938 Ford Deluxe Coupe just sold for $50,000. Wow, that's a
classic
that's
build
a
right
hottie.
there. Yeah, it is. Very simple but effective. Solid paint, candy apple maroon, chrome wheels.
Nice shave job to it, perfect exhaust.
Yeah, exactly. Keyless entry and tinted glass.
Okay, 50, we told you for that one. No reserve, 1982 Camaro Z28.
1982, that began a 10-year run for this generation of the Camaro, 82 to 92. This one, odometer reads 4630. Can that be? Wow. This thing is not even broken in yet. Highly original 5-liter engine. These engines struggle to make 250 horsepower, I hate to say it. But that wasn't what we were selling back in 1982. The world was a-changing. Everyday factory air in this. AM/FM stereo with a cassette player and cruise. So a bunch of options on this.
Bill, I think the color and the striping on this package, this is almost like the Dale Earnhardt Sr. Intimidator stripe package.
Ooh.
That would have been a cool one to see, I think.
Good call there. Put a 3 on the door and you got it nailed. $20,000 buys that at no reserve. More than one, actually closer to a half a dozen K20s that we have seen here in Indy this weekend. Here's one from 1977.
Yep, every color we've seen. The drivetrains, though, have been pretty predictable, and this one has that 350 small block and an automatic transmission. That's a K truck with four-wheel drive and some power extras, steering and brakes, AC. 17-inch alloy wheels, 33-inch BF Goodrich rubber. Interior, pretty much as it came from the factory.
No reserve as well.
That is a big, scary tonneau cover over that bed, too.
Yeah, that might be big enough to double as your tent if you take it camping.
Yeah, look at it.
Sold $30,000. Sold $30,000 next one.
And a Hammer at $30,000.
62 Chevy Bel Air V8 automatic air conditioning. Please note, idle branded.
1962 Bel Air is going to be the next one up for offer. Wow.
Yeah.
What a build here, Bill.
Yeah, two tones. Got that charcoal and silver on the outside, red and black on the interior. This would be considered a mild or conservative custom. 350, yeah, another one of those 350 small blocks. This one dressed out. Some powder coating, I see. Intake manifold.
Look at the detail in there.
Yeah, you got your billet valve covers, billet accessory pulleys. Very nice job underneath there. Willwood power disc brakes, air conditioning, tilt steering column. Probably a Flaming River deal, I'm guessing, on that steering column. Autometer gauges, 18-inch mag wheels up front and 20s out back. And side exhaust sneaking out from underneath the rocker there. Yeah, not a particularly high-end build, a well-done build, but, you know, this is not what you would say was a 3-year, $200,000 custom build.
Right.
And that's reflected in the price.
Hey, it's a cool car regardless, and somebody's going to get it for a song.
You know, I've always said you make the right choices when it comes to paint and wheels and finish. You don't have to spend a zillion-y, billion-y dollars and get a car that looks as good as this one.
600 down. Hit 5, 600 down. I'd get a bit of a 26,000. Hit 5, I'd get a bit of a 600 down. I'd get a bit of a 600, get a 7. I'd get a bit of a 7 bid. And I'd get a bit of a 71. I'd get a bit of a 71, 71, 70. I'd get a bit of a 21, 7. And I'd get a bit of a 7. I'd get a bit of Mike 1, 7. I'd get a bit of a 6. I'd get a bit of 8 down 8. And I'd get a 7 here. I'd get a full bid of here. 8 down. 8 down. I'd get a bit of a 8 down 8. I'd get a bit of a 8 down 8. I'd get a 20 down a bid. And a bid. I'd get a bit of a 8 down 8. I'd get a 20 down here. I'd get a 7 pair 8 bid. And I'd get a bit of a 20 down here.
That may be all the money.
Yeah, I think that guy is going to let it go, and the internet is going to get it for $27,000. And so with that, we will close out another segment, and our program and the terrific cars will continue in a few minutes. Well, we are nearing the end of the line here. Still 15 minutes or so to go with you on ESPN Plus today from Indy and the Indiana State Fairgrounds here at the state capitol. And wow, what a truck to kick off the next segment. Visually so well done, and mechanically as well, Bill Stevens.
How many times have we said today, wow, what a truck?
Yeah.
We had some of the finest pickup trucks here, both original, restored, and customized. And this one is pretty close to original, 350 for your power. It's the K model 4-wheel drive, automatic transmission, interior, exterior, new. That's new paint, and new interior stitching, power steering and disc brakes, Bilstein shocks, and new wheels and tires. A little bit of money sunk into this build, but it's paying off. Getting into the mid-30s now.
Yep, that is that factory short bed configuration that Everybody seems to dig.
It's the way I think a lot of people would do their pickup builds. Yeah, that's kind of vibe in Steel City's gray, actually.
It really is, or gunmetal gray.
One of them.
Yeah. And that red interior is the perfect complementary color.
Yeah. Yeah, that interior would probably disappear if it was black. But that red.
I agree.
You know, that's kind of like, hey, look at me.
Okay, they put in a good effort. $36,000 will be a little under the money, however. And our attention shifts now to a 59 Fairlane 500 Skyliner.
This is a Skyliner. The Skyliner is the hardtop convertible or retractable hardtop. The Sunliner is the conventional convertible. But these are just so much fun. I really wish they would put the top down. We've seen consigners put the top down when it's on the block.
Yeah.
It's so cool, like a Rube Goldberg device to see it fold up and the trunk opens up and it goes down inside. This one with a 352, 300 horse V8. All rebuilt along with the automatic transmission. Continental kit. That really gives it that 50s look. And as we've mentioned any time before, there are so many parts and pieces that go into the top mechanism on these. We're talking about motors and servos, micro switches, solenoids. I think there's like 600 feet of wiring that goes into them. And I think Wayne Carini once told us that to rebuild one of those systems, it's like a year's project.
His dad used to work on those cars.
Right.
Used to work on the mechanisms, and he's the one that, gave us a couple of the numbers. Like there's 7 different motors that control all that stuff.
Yep, the schematic must look like a bowl of spaghetti.
Back in the days of the drive-in movies, if one rolled up with the top down, they didn't need to check the trunk for stowaways.
Right.
They knew there was nothing in there but the top.
Nobody could fit. They have a plastic tub in there, I think. That's all they have for carrying space.
And at no reserve, it brings just $28,000. Okay, this is the 2014 Maserati Gran Turismo Sport Coupe on the block now.
Yeah, this is an Italian exotic. Conservative in appearance. You're not going to mistake this for a Lamborghini Huracan, but this is a true Italian thoroughbred. 454 horsepower out of the 4.7 liter V8, sourced by Ferrari. At that time, they were doing that. Now, Maserati's brought their engine program in-house, but at the time, they were getting them from Maranello.
Bill, what did you make of that joint venture between Maserati and Ferrari to team up with the development and then actually manufacturing the engines there in Maranello?
Yeah, well, it certainly was an advantage for Maserati to have that Ferrari kind of aura on their automobiles. It certainly didn't hurt them. And for Ferrari, it kind of showcased how excellent their powertrains were, that a competitor was taking them to power their automobiles. So I'd say that was a win-win.
Great point.
I just want to go to the restaurant where they made that deal.
Wouldn't that have been nice? I spent a weekend with one of these when I was at a radio station in Atlanta because no one wanted to drive to the north side of town to pick it up. And just 4 short hours later, my dad and I were on the side of the highway with the sheriff. Had a lovely time.
The bid goes on. Somebody pick this up.
They still might.
Might just be me.
Oh, good.
Well, as we near the finish line today in Indy, I want to run down our top sellers, as is customary. The 2019 CR1, a big car today, no doubt about it. Only 3,200 miles, and that brought 147.5 a little while ago. Number 2 spot belongs to the 2023 Challenger SRT Demon 170, only 14 miles to its credit, and that 1,000 horsepower plus D170 brought $160,000. But our number 1 car today, not a surprise really. We thought it was going to do well, and it did. 1969 Boss 429, one of only 859 built for 1969, a legendary car. any way you look at it, it brought $225,000, all to benefit the Tulsa, Oklahoma Community Foundation. So well done, everybody, on that car. Topping the list today here on a Saturday in Indy, Bill.
Yeah, look at that scoreboard right there. All three of the big three represented. God bless America.
Yes, indeed. And that is quite a top five. In fact, the top seven today, including that 2017 water car, are all six-figure cars.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Cool build here. 1930. We don't see often. 1933 Plymouth.
Right. This is what we would have called an odd rod, as opposed to a hot rod. To see a 33 Plymouth getting this treatment. How did they get that 454 in there? Yep, that is a big, big block with a lot of chrome, a lot of polishing. Look at those exhaust manifolds, beautifully finished. Automatic transmission, has overdrive, and it has that Memphis air. It goes with the vintage sound I talked about earlier.
Okay.
Okay. No, vintage air, of course. Willwood disc brakes, and Krager SS mags, front and center.
As you talk about vintage, those pinstripes on there are so nice and so period correct.
Yep.
I mean, it's hard for me to be at these and still want to build a car like this of my own, because you can't do better than a lot of these builds already are. And for the money, that's just such a great ride. That Plymouth with the sort of suicide doors opening on there, but that stripe kit alone, Chris, I mean, that style for days.
Yeah, I was checking that out as it was rolling by. And very, very cool work there. And becoming a lost art, you know, the hand striping. I watched Dennis Rickliffs do it for many, many years on overhauling, and the dude just never missed. He was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, the high bid here is going to wind up at $29,000. We get a chance, Bill, to take a gander at this 2017 Yenko Corvette.
How about an aftermarket tuner Corvette? This is number 7 of 50 of the Yenko SE Corvettes, made by SVE back in 2017. And this is being purported to be the only convertible fitted with an automatic for that series of cars, so that gives it some speciality. It's a supercharged 6.8 LT1 based V8 engine that's had some extra syrup poured over it. Corvette racing yellow, black striping. It's got AC. They're saying this motor is cranking out about 800 horsepower. Magnetic ride control as well underneath with Brembo 4-wheel disc brakes with drilled discs. A lot of extras, a lot of handiwork went into this. This is a true high-performance car, anybody's book. Bidding now at $65,000. And trust me when I tell you, you're just scratching the surface for what went into this car in terms of the budget to give you what you're looking at.
That's what I thought. Down 7, 65, 67 out of bid. 65, interviewed us at 7, 67,000, 65, 67 out of bid. And a 5, I'd get a bit of a
See liberal use of some carbon fiber on the interior.
I'd get a bit of a 7 out of bid. I'd get a bit of a 5 here. I'd get a bit of a 7 out of down. I'd get a bit of 65, 67,000 a bid. 65 is bid. Interviewed us at 67,000. $65,000.
Those are alloy wheels. They're not carbon fiber.
I'd get a bit of a 67,000. 65, 67 a bid. I'd get a bit of a 65. I'd get a bit of a 67,000.
It's our man Paul Guck up there in the upper left. He's got the, is that Guy Larson with him? I think that is. That's Guy Larson from Bloomington Gold that's got the high bid at the moment. Huh?
Not a shock.
No. He knows his stuff.
Oh, he's one of the more educated Corvette people in the country.
Paul, here's what we're going to do. This is Mecum rule. We're going to close with you. You're the high bidder at $65,000.
And if you've never been to a Bloomington Gold event,
$75,000 does. For a $380
just do it.
Car,
just go.
You can Mecum rule right now for $75,000.
You don't even have to be a big
before
Corvette
you just
to go there.
Just totally shake your head and give up.
You'd
be blown away.
Paul,
you might be by the time you leave.
That subsection part. If you want to explain that to him. However, sir, if you want to go ahead and counter, if you don't want to get the 75, which I see you're probably not apt to as of yet.
It's a brand new car.
But if you want to counter and say like 74.5 or something like that, I mean, that'd be a nice round figure.
You offer them 70,000.
It would probably
we'll see
work.
if they'll let it go there. 67.
So we've got 67.
We'll try and work on our end to get that done for you.
Not exactly. Yeah. Yeah, we do. $67,000 is his current offer.
I may not have mentioned the odometer. 388 miles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She really looks like she wants to sell it. He really looks like he wants to buy it. I think this is going to work in the end. How about we come to like meet in the middle? How about if you'd give 70? Would 70 work? 70.
How about 69?
There it is.
Come up a little bit more.
She agreed.
We're working on it. You know we're working
$70,000.
Offer a little more.
Okay, hold. No, sir. Sir, I'm just gonna explain this to you right now. Okay. Now, okay. I'm gonna inform you. I'm gonna give you one more chance at 70. Because if you don't, I have it and I open it back up and everybody else gets to bid.
70,000.
Okay.
Okay. So here it is. So 70 is
they have
bid here, and
70
the
on the
reserve is
internet.
70 is the bid.
$72,000.
No matter what happens,
70 bid. It said $72,000, and we
the
have.
reserve is off.
You got to beat that.
And
It's already there.
What
Yes
are they
or
going
no?
to do? We've got to.
And it is.
We
Sold
are.
for 70,000.
Oh, there it
Sold
is.
70,000.
Wow, you're talking about the 11th hour and perfect timing at the end of the show, huh?
Yeah.
Wowzers. Well, that'll do it for us here today at Indy. Cannot tell you how much we appreciate you joining us for the Fall Indy Special here on ESPN Plus. Just a reminder, our broadcast from both today and yesterday will be available starting next Thursday on Mecum's YouTube channel. So, up next for us, we head to Dallas-Fort Worth, where a 1,500 car lineup awaits later on this month. Hope you could be a part of that as well. We'll kick off our coverage starting October 30th here on ESPN Plus. Get set for Halloween, Bill. For Bill Stevens, Chris Jacobs, Danielle, Trotta, Rutledge Wood, I'm Scott Hoke. So long from Indy.